Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Challenger Stories. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Whippet. Whippet, folks at home, please introduce yourself.
My name's Whippet, I cast Siege. You might have seen me on Brazil, Latin America, South Korea. I'm in Tier 2 at the minute doing stuff like Rumble, Tier 2 finals, and anything that the UK scene's got going for Tier 2, I'm there.
Including chanting and making a riff-raff down there.
Listen, that's what we have to do. We have to come out here and we got to represent ourselves the best way possible by recycling responsibly. And letting everyone in the region know that the UKIN region's got some pretty good chance going.
We have got some really good chance going, and well, let's just pivot totally from the chance from the majors. Before we even got thinking about majors, Siege itself, when did you find it, and how did you fall in love with it?
It's a long story for me, actually. So all the way back from when they first showed it at E3, I was hooked. I was kind of a passive fan of Tom Clancy's stuff. I'd read some of the books. My dad was really interested in the books. So I knew the name, and I played one of the old Rainbow Six titles, and I got into this, played the early tests on console, and decided, I want to dive into this. Funny enough, it was actually a Christmas present for my parents. They got it to me. They let me play it early instead of opening it on Christmas Day, and I was hooked ever since. Didn't get really into the esports until 6 months later. I got spawn peeked by some dude on Border, and they said they learned it from a Pengu stream. I followed that, and from there on, I started off as a Penta G2 fan for the longest time, and that's where my journey with esports started.
And then, from being a fan of the esport, from watching one of the most historic rosters of all time, to then casting names like them today, how did you get into that journey? Where did that start?
It was, I think, definitely a convoluted path for me, but longest story, the way summarize, I wanted to be a support staff initially. I realized that I wasn't good enough to play. Then I didn't really have the commitment, nor the mindset to be a coach nor analyst. And the guys on the team I worked with then said, you always have passion for our debriefs, you should be a caster. They signed me up for a Discord cast, like a Discord League cast, without my knowledge. I'd done it, one of the worst experiences of my life. But I got asked to do it again and again and again, and I just kept doing everything inside Tier 4. I got the opportunity to do UKIN, and I casted with people like Gibson, my current duo, and spent some time working with Fresh and at that level as well. And from there, Fresh, put myself and Gibson forward for Gamers 8, so we done that, and that followed in the Challenger League, and that got us all the way to Tier 1.
Into Tier 1, and then, of course, today, working much of the T2 circuit in the last year, enjoying yourselves. This will be live during Challenger Series. Any takes you want to drop, that you can drop, Challenger Series?
Well, that I can drop? Well, my big thing is I want to see Panahone do well. I was a big believer in this team. If you follow anything I've seen, I love Finnish players. I love the teams, I love even the people, I love hanging around with them. I think Panahone didn't show their full potential during the LCQ to get to the Invitational here. And I think they're the team that I think people will underestimate because they're not the Heretics, they're not the Geeky. They're a side that maybe people don't see a full potential of a full national team. And I think they're going to surprise lots of people, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, surprise lots of people. Well, you might have just sealed your fate because I might be airing this after.
Listen, I will get them a few drinks at this event just in case I put the curse on them.
Just to avoid the curse. And then looking ahead into the next year, hopefully teams like Panu will be qualified into T1. For the player that's looking at next year's Challenger Series, the LCQs that we'll have coming up as well. Advice to them on where to get and how to get started with that.
First thing is, if you want to do it, do it. There's no point sitting there having the dream and not going for it. It's in my bio on Twitter, it's what I say, get to your dreams. Nothing's going to stop the person that does something, and if you just keep doing it, you're going to do it. There's a lot of talented people, everyone wants to help. I know you spoke to Cooley for this, he'll help you if you want to be an analyst or a coach. There's always players that want to help build it up. We're a community for a reason. That word means more than just a group of people, the region you're in. People want to help, people want to see it up, and you see it at events like this. Everyone bands together, whether you're a secret fan by right or not, you're going to cheer for them because they're European, they're your side, and that's your region. So I think find like-minded people, don't stop the grind, and always just believe a little bit more in yourself.
You look at the spectacle of what's going on in the arena there, a huge, massive game, and then sometimes it's hard to forget those people aspect, that individual one-on-one, and like you say, it's everyone in this community is accessible. That is a massive special thing of what we've got here in Siege, and it's a perfect note to end on here for this one. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully see you around on the streams this year.
I will.
one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Challenger Series 2026, Day 2 of the Swiss stage. My name is Travi, joining me yet again, Golu. You missed yesterday, unfortunately, but we had a really cracking evening of Siege, and I hope you come in today on this Friday ready to go and ready and raring for some great games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some Siege, the second day of Swiss as well, so we're getting a little bit closer to kicking some teams out. Important to get those wins. Make sure you put yourselves into a good spot for the playoffs, because again, 16 teams Swiss, but only 8 to go through to the next stage. Pretty exciting stuff.
It's going to be a very, very exciting one. Of course, just for those that are just joining us for the first time here, a look at the bracket, or rather the format of how everything works inside of Challenger Series. Open qualifiers, been, gone, done that one. Now we've had our teams progress on through. 16 of them total are in the Swiss stage, combination of the Open Qual teams, mixed in with those from performances from last year, our relegated T1 teams. They'll all be playing against each other in Swiss. It's the simplest way to explain Swiss, Golu, I suppose, is win 3 before you lose 3.
Yeah, you get repaired every single round into a team with the same record as you. So if you have 1 win, 1 loss, you'll play into another team with 1 win and 1 loss. This is the second round, which means teams will either have won on day 1 yesterday, and be in the 1-0 bracket, or have lost and be in the 0-1 bracket. So no teams on their relegation, or their elimination, I should say, or their safety matches just yet. That will be in tomorrow's play day, Saturday, where we will start to see teams saying goodbye and also welcome to the playoffs. So you can see how it kind of runs down on the screen. I believe, Trevi, if I'm allowed to leak the game that we're doing.
You're allowed to leak, I think. I think it's in the title, but I'll let you have it. It is in the stream title, but I'll let you have it.
Well, Twitch viewers can't read. I'm going to leak the title of the game. Yeah. We are covering the Turks versus UAIM game. That is in the lower bracket, the 0-1 bracket at the moment. So for both of these teams, whichever one loses, will be playing for elimination tomorrow. The winner gets that extra lifeline, gets to go a little bit further, keep their chances just looking a little brighter.
1-1 bracket if you find yourself tomorrow. It's not a bad place to be honest with you, Golu. You have not burnt your chances too much just yet, and obviously you're still, no matter what, you're running the risk of elimination tomorrow. 2 games will be played tomorrow, so there's a very real possibility we're going to be saying goodbye to 6 of our teams tomorrow. No, not 6, 4 of them. We'll say goodbye to 4 teams tomorrow. Equally, we will be promoting 4 on towards the playoffs, so things are starting to get exciting, and it's going to be a really good opportunity for these teams to kind of get a picture of how the bracket might form out. And as we go into tomorrow, I think we're going to know who the favourites to start to be. As for the match we've got currently going on, this one here, Turks versus UAIM. The former team of which they've been really grinding it out in the T2 circuit as the last year. And I know you'll agree with me when I say this, Golu, they have improved dramatically.
Yeah, looking very good through the qualifiers, right? It was a slower start, but they've really picked up towards the second half of them. And for UM coming in, I'm really excited to see what they can do. I think they probably are the underdogs here, right? I mean,
I think so.
I can't say it's a team I'm super familiar with. I'm going to forget the names of who's on this team, to be honest.
We can have a look. We can pull it up. Ooh.
How convenient.
Graphics.
Let's pretend that was a planned bit.
Yeah, let's scripted.
Yes. So I think definitely Turks have that name power behind them. UM coming in through our qualifiers, though, so you can't count them out too early, because they're having a little bit more difficult time in yesterday's games. But you know what? I always enjoy a turnaround. I think for both these teams.
Story.
I think Turks do have real weaknesses, right? They're not like a team that is always super consistent. If they're on form, if they're on their day, yeah, they're going to run away with it. When you're looking at the squad along, always a lot of familiar names, including a 1v1 king. I wonder when people stop saying this, by the way, because I don't know if it's ever.
Surely next year they do a 1v1 tournament again. I'd be down for another 1v1. I actually thought, I don't know how hot of a take this is. I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
At the moment, it's a good bit to say that Salim has never lost. He has won every single official 1v1 tournament in Siege history. Now that's pretty funny. If he wins next year, then it's actually impressive. At the moment, it's kind of a funny twist on there's been one tournament.
There's been one 1v1 tournament that he's won once. That's a lot of ones. And maybe he's going to get his first win today inside of this one. He's a great player. It was only, what, 3 weeks ago we were in Paris sort of chanting that one on. And I think the crowd really got behind the 1v1s as that game went on. I think getting behind the EU. And I'm glad EU won something on that Sunday because
the grand final would push that to one side.
It was less enjoyable if unless you like good siege. Because FaZe Clan, they're kind of the real deal.
Siege. Yeah, they kind of know what they're doing.
I'm a sympathizer. I wanted Secret to win. Don't get me wrong, but I am a sympathizer for the FaZe Clan cause. You know.
FaZe plays so good, and now I know what it feels like back in like the G2 days to not be a G2 fan and to be a hater of them. Now I know kind of what it feels like. The best team is just a team that you don't want to see win. No disrespect to the people, but I'm just like, I just want to see someone else do it for a change. I want to see someone else win a game, but no.
Being a G2 fan back in the day felt so good, by the way.
Oh, it was
so good.
Amazing. Really, really fun stuff to kind of go on through for that one. And
all the EG fans back in the day.
Oh,
the collective tears. So good.
God, I've got a question for you. It's not game related. Have you had this yet? A new Red Bull?
What is it? Cherry Sakura. I have not.
Have you not? I could only find this in the multi-packs. I've been looking in this for like the last week for like in individuals. I've not, so I've just caved and spent £6 on a 4-pack of them.
Okay, sure.
It's not bad. I don't think it's my favourite. It's not as nice as I was expecting it to be.
I made the mistake of at one point picking up an 8-pack of the strawberry. No, not the strawberry cream. The what was like the soda Cokes called?
Was it
the brown ones? It's like they came out at the same as the strawberry cream ones.
Yeah,
but they're not. There was like soda cream or something. Those were awful.
Those were rank.
I think it was soda cream. It was like the same packaging as the strawberry cream ones, but it was brown instead of pink.
Nice.
And it was not good. And I bought an 8-pack of those because my work didn't have them in singles, and I was really sad about it the whole time. I really just wish that I could have not bought those. That would have been fantastic.
Maybe that's why they launched these things in multi-packs.
Yeah, so that people who don't know what's going on will buy it. I'm whacking extra light on because why not?
Well, I just bought a 4-pack of these, and I'm not the most happy person in the world. If they was really, really nice, I wouldn't have minded, but I wouldn't. It was nice, but I wouldn't go for a second. Put it that way. If I'd only bought the one, I probably would have just bought that one, and that would have been done.
You're not
done
a cherry.
Dusted.
You're a fan of cherry drink.
I love cherry. This is the thing. Normally, I'm a lover of cherry, so I was really expecting. My expectations were like through the roof with this thing, and it's like a solid 6 out of 10 drink. It's not bad. It's just not up to the expectations, I don't think. So,
what's your thought on cherry Coke?
I love cherry Coke. Is it cherry Pepsi Max? Not quite, but it's I love it. It's great.
I find the cherry Diet Coke to be just a little too cherry and not enough Coke.
It's very artificial cherry. Like, this is a very natural feeling cherry. This actually doesn't taste much like an artificial cherry, if you know what I mean. It's very much
interesting. I might have to try it out then. Weirdly, you're selling me on it.
Am I selling you on it? Yeah.
I also don't super lean Red Bull.
No, me neither. I'm a monster girly for him.
And I think part of that is because it's cheaper per volume to buy Monster.
There's always
and I really like mango. And there's not a good mango. I'm actually an Ultra Fiesta guy, if I'm being completely real.
Okay, yeah. Ultra Fiesta, okay.
I think it tastes a little bit better. Rogue. I think it tastes less overwhelming.
Less overwhelming. Fair enough. Fair dues.
Yeah, I think it's a very nice amount, and it's technically also better for you because it's sugar free. So I always put 3 spoonfuls of sugar in before I eat one, just to make sure I'm keeping my sugars in check. No, no, that's a joke.
I was gonna say, I was like, are you joking? I can't quite do it.
No, I don't triple sugar up my monsters before I drink them. That sounds like actually diabetes in a can. Which, hey, if you're into that, fair enough.
You know what? Have you seen those videos where it's like the Dunkin' Donuts orders, and it's like 27 sugars, and the machine's just.
Oh, God. How do you justify doing that though? That's what I don't get.
I wouldn't be able to tell you how you actually get away with that, or even
at what point as a barista are you no?
But it's not a barista; it's a machine.
As in, like, you're just making it in your, like, home espresso machines?
No. It's like, so in Dunkin', they have these machines that automatically put certain of, like, the syrups and the sugars in the cups before the baristas get to it, before they put the coffee in. So if it says 7 sugars, the machine just spits out 7 portions of sugars. So when they take the cup, it's already got the sugar in it, and then you can just go and do what you need.
So you put the mix and syrups in the coffee cup.
Yeah.
And then the barista takes the coffee cup.
And then puts the coffee in it, and then gives it to the person, yeah.
Don't you, like... Okay. Don't you, like, put the coffee in the mug and then the milk in, and you, like, mix the milk in, and then you add all your syrups and sugars? That's, like, how you make espresso coffee, right?
I mean, this is like iced coffee I'm talking about here. So it's like and it's a big-ass cup. Like, obviously it's American, so the portions are like...
But even so, don't you put in the coffee and then the creamer?
You would assume. Apparently. I honestly don't know. I've never set foot in a Dunkin' Donuts.
I've actually not really tried iced coffee. So I can't
Have you not? Yeah. We were having this discussion the other day. You're more of a cappuccino guy.
I'm a cappuccino guy. I like cappuccino.
I
like the frothiness.
Should we look at the map, Vito? Should we see where we're going to be heading to? Have a quick check of where we're going to be getting to for this game. Of course, best of 3 territory now. We're in Swiss stage, Golu, meaning we're going to get some more action. We're going to get some more maps, and we're going back to Lair.
I like a Lair. I'm an enjoyer. I think the map is very interesting, and I like teams bringing it, as it's like a good opportunity to prove that you can do something different and be better. Right, like I think it's the same for things like the Consulate, which has come to our decider. I like seeing when teams are picking up the sort of newer maps. It is the most recent addition to the pool. No, Fortress. After Fortress.
Yep, after Fortress.
So both of those, like Fortress is another one that I really like seeing teams be able to innovate and adapt on from the get-go. So I think that is super interesting to see how that lines up.
And then the kind of more default-y common maps, should we say, left towards the end of the veto there. Chalet being picked out by UAIM, and then Al Decider heading towards Consulate. It's a decent map, Vito, if you ask me. I'm quite happy with it. I'm really interested to see how this lair plays out at the start. I think that's going to set a lot of the pace for how this one's going to kind of crumble on through. And hopefully, just maybe, we can go through.
Yeah, it should be really interesting to see. And then, like... Look, we're gonna get that Chalet no matter what, right? This is the best of 2. You need to win 2 maps to win the game. I guess is the correct way to put it. So coming into the first map, I think it's gonna be very interesting, particularly as this is the Turks map pick. That gives UAIM the choice of side, and that has to be defense. There's no way that is never not defense first on Lair. I think Lair is a map that you can get very good results with on the attack if you know what you're doing. And it makes it very interesting to see what happens in the first half of the game. To see a 4-2 split is not super uncommon. We saw that in our qualifiers already with teams that understand how to attack into this map. And I'm expecting Turks to be able to do that, to be pretty well drilled. I'm also interested to see what the impact of these shield operators is, Trey. Because, again, it's lots of corridors that you can really force your way down, and Monty is a particularly strong pick here on Lair, with things like the Blackbeard and the Blitz still being very good for aggressively challenging these closer angles. However, you lose the ability to just stand and be a constant presence. There is a very undervalued part of Monty's kit sometimes on Lair, but walk into Garage down on the bottom floor and just stand down Missile Hall. You can just do that. You can just walk up into lockers. You can take so much space very quickly. And when you're pairing it with how much the attack need to take a lot of map control to really be successful on Lair, I think having the Monty to be able to streamline the early starts of your game is going to be really important if it gets left open. And I'm interested to see what happens if it goes. Do we lean into things like our blitzes to help our roam clear, or do we lean on more traditional tools like droning, head with Amos, Stokely, maybe even a Lion after the recent buff? That
could be fun. Could be really fun. And we don't have too much longer to wait till this game starts underway, so we're going to get loaded. We'll be back in 10 seconds or so with our first game of the evening. So here we have it, the start of our first best-of-3 game of the evening. Turks LFO going up against UAIM, losers bracket from yesterday. It's not do or die just yet, Golu, but certainly a win here will help you out in your Swiss stage run.
An interesting way to start off the ban phase 2. The Grim going not too uncommon, right? One of these very powerful operators, and it's really nice when you consider his history in Siege. You know, started off as a mega useless operator pick, really grew into that popularity with getting up to 5 hives now, being able to bounce them off of walls and strong weaponry to go behind that. So taken away early, I think this makes a lot of sense. You're especially looking at these tight corners that we've already talked about, the shields having those impacts, but being able to just shoot Grim hives down and limit the movement of the defense, very, very strong. The Tachanka smoke ban, I think, is the more interesting side to look at this from, because you're looking at 2 of these time denial operators, and it's going to make the attack a lot easier to push in, especially on the top and bottom floors, right? These very common defender sites. For the top floor, you're going to lean on things like the Goyo and need to bring the Nitro cells. They've only got 1 in the pocket of Vex. So for this attacking plan, if they get this operator room, if they're playing for that external breach and they get into sight, you lose the ability to contest from deep back inside of R6 room or inside of Armory. This is a very common way to try and defend from these plants coming through. And yes, you have taken out that Monty from UAIM, so that's not going to be available to the Turks, and you're bringing a clash early on. So to me, this suggests we're going to see a lot of very immediate sort of meeting at the door, right, as I like to call it. We're going to have Sir Lloyd on this clash be able to walk forwards and meet the attackers early on in the round, try and gather that early intel so the defense can try and devise what the game plan coming through is. But already early openings on this door downstairs, is the attack starting to make their way up to the top.
Turks going to start their attack as most good ones do on lair. We're heading over towards operational side here. Try and get yourself some presence in there. Fiza on the Nomad will likely be watching those flanks off, positions there. They're just going to drone it out. Don't want to commit too much to an entry too early on inside of this round. As you said, if you're going to play this meet by the door play style, you need to be ready to take these initial gunfights. That's where this Deimos is going to come in, keeping a tab on those more aggressive players from the side of UAIM.
Already spotting out some of this early utility. Barbed wire and Vulcan canisters deployed on that main stairs, and it's all an attempt to prevent that flank coming up later on in the round. Main breach a little opened up, but you can drop down a Kiba just to sort of plug the hole for the time being, continue to buy a little bit of time. And I like the use of verticality here, Travi, just to try and see where the attack are going to come downstairs underneath. Especially when looking at, you know, you've got things like Salim on that Deimos. He has the shotgun. He can rip open a lot of this floor if he gets that space.
It's quite a common vertical spot to open up here because it's one that applies pressure on towards that mirror window you're seeing. And you can see Turks are going to have to be cautious around it being opened up. They know there's someone likely to be watching it. They know there's going to be some pressure unfold. Operation walls open back on up. Now push forward back through mezzanine for UAIM. Nilar needs to be careful of the one outside the bathroom window. Likely to be a point of first engagement here. Oh, Fiza looking away at the wrong possible moment, taking a world of damage. Aware of the one swinging down the staircase. Can't quite find the gunfight though. Nilar with the first force into the gunfight with the bathroom player. Good trade back from Salim. 4v4 situation. Turks looking to gain some ground.
Clash, scanning, and so far zapping out with the taser just to hold them back, but the attack keep on moving forwards. Now they have control of mezzanine, they can look to support Salim here in this advanced position in the bathroom.
As they push on through towards now, trying to gain some more territory for themselves. 60 seconds left on the clock here. Turks have a lot of information on all of the 4 remaining defenders. Mirror windows are still up though. Clash is still present, meaning she can just continue to burn this clock away. And like you said, Golu, those time-wasting operators, they're going to play a big part in this round.
45 seconds, Clash now having to look a little bit away, and that opens Salim's opportunity if he wants to walk forwards, but there's so much pressure coming in on this breach where they're trying to push in for the plant. Again, only 1 Nitro cell to deny it, now that this breach is getting opened up by Badal.
Zami keeping barricades popping up behind the desk here, taking the gunfight with the player outside. That's Turner going to fall on down to the side of Smith there. Deathmark's going to come on through, trying to chase down Vexy. You have an idea you're playing behind the mirror window, but you knew that effectively already. It's how do you dislodge, how do you deal with it? She's still going to look to play this position here. The clash does go down. Big pick coming in from Bodolf. 15 seconds now. These Turks need to make a move. They need to move quickly. But while this mirror's still in play, she's effectively holding them all in check. Going to throw the sense into the site, commit down to the plant, but you don't have the cover there in the right positions. Meaning Smith is able to throw disruption into one. The clock's going to be the final anchor inside of this round, and UAIM will walk away with a clean victory.
I really like the idea coming in from the bans, right? Get rid of the ability to deny the plant from long range, force the defense to play up close to where you are, and they have to take these gunfights. But that doesn't matter if you're going to lose the gunfights anyway, right? We have the Like, we have Smith just sat behind the desk with the Azami, with the keepers constantly reinforcing his position, and you never get him out. We're not sending nades in to try and clear it. We don't have the ability to do this. Like, you can't just let him sit here. You have to send someone below to try and open up the floor beneath him. You have like a Deimos, right? So you can just scan his army. Let's figure this out. And it's super easy to do, right? Because once you ping a gadget, it reveals that operator to your team. So you can just ping a keeper barricade and you can get that scan going off. There's no reason why we couldn't be doing this. Or sending a drone in. We need to find a way to clear this position. Just having the ROUs is not enough to deny this forward space. And so, yes, you are able to deny from long range, but if you're going to let players sit right up on your planter, it's not going to matter.
Down towards the basement now, UAIM building a lineup around anchoring this objective. You've got the castle, you've got the Cade, the two Brow to try and hold the fort down, and then once it's penetrated, I'm loving to see his pick rate really skyrocketing since that buff. It's that Echo, that third drone, providing an extra breath of life into this operator. And I know you love to see him, Golu. I love it too. It's just so fun, especially on this basement. I feel he's got a lot to show us.
Yeah, for sure, one of my historically favourite operators. I loved playing Echo back in the day as well. Even when he had one Yokai, I was a big Echo enjoyer. So to see him get this third one and you lose the ACOG, it's a bit of a shame, but still a very great amount of util on this operator, right? And you start to see people bring the shotgun more and more as the Bearing 9 became a little bit more manageable and we kind of get used to it. You get a deployable shield as well, so kind of taken over from that old smoke roll, but already a quick entry from the Turks upstairs.
Speeding through this first floor now. So Solotov, Shock's all going to be leading the charge there with the Blackbeard. He's taking the namesake. He's got an idea, and it's a good one in mind. But already, Turk's going to be pushing on forward aggressive, using the quick information you can gain from the Sultan radar of the Snake there. Not going to be needed, though, to find this perfect. Nilar goes down. That's the Cade lost. And look at it already. Bar the one all the way on Skybridge, Golu, they've got control of the map.
This is what we're talking about, the shields in the pre-game, right? You can just walk in very aggressively and take a lot of space. That information relayed from behind the ballistic shield nets them that opening kill onto Nilar. And again, Snake on this middle floor, running around with that sensor, gets to tell Badolf what's clear, what can he open up, and applying this verticality now. What they do have to be careful of, and I don't think they're aware, is there is a roamer on the top floor. We've seen the silhouette vaguely running around, so that is an opportunity for a massive flank coming through for UAIM if it doesn't get scanned out, if Snake isn't carefully checking the scanner.
Turks going to press their numbers advantage now, just slowly increase their presence facing the site direction, apply some pressure towards those defenders. Again, it's that concern of what can Smith get cooking. He's making his way down the elevator stairs now, so he's on the first floor. With this attacking lineup, it's just more of a case of when does he choose to strike and how does he choose to do it.
Still searching for that information as more of this verticality now directly above site starts to come through. We have one more boogie as well. I could actually be used also inside a lobby or just inside of Armory across. Nothing to open this hatch with unless Salim rotates over, but currently inside of lockers, pushing directly into sight. Spots an amazing angle onto the Echo, but can't confirm the kill, Travi. They're going to be able to pick him up.
Revive's going to come on through now. They're aware of the player on the flank there. Beautiful pick from Turner, shutting down Smith. And that's the big X factor inside of this round for UAIM, because now what they're in is a bog standard 3v5 with Vexy going down. May as well make it a 2v5. And sure, Cyrilide's up on the Echo, but 30 seconds is enough time to pressure advantage. The kills come in just like that at the drop of a pin. And with it, Turks answer back.
Making good use of that F2 with its newly returned vertical grip as well, Travis, which is lovely to see. It's nice for the weapon to get some spotlight. You know, I've kind of, look, as much as I'm a DMR enjoyer, I like seeing these DMRs, the F2 is such an iconic weapon, and so many historic moments in Siege have all pivoted around Twitch with this gun to get a second attacker who gets to bring it, and now it's back in its full glory. Really lovely to see. But I also like the implementation of the Snake here, right? New operator coming in. How are we going to find it? Well, it's all about this information. We have this scanner on the middle floor. We can see so many rooms that are going to be safe for us. And you keep checking it periodically. You notice they catch out the roam coming through inside of weapons. I'd be interested to know how much information is coming from... was it Teaser on the Snake?
I think he's locking it. Yeah,
it was Teaser who's been rocking it. So bringing that in and having those scans, I wonder what the impact of that was. Did they spot the danger warning coming through? I'm not too sure, but... either way, really nice to see them have things like the Nomad as well, just to make sure this is all safe and secure. So from the Turks, it's a really solid approach where they're pushing for this middle floor, simultaneous with the warehouse pressure coming in, and that forces all of the defenders back into the depths of sight as they're ripping open the floor with the boogies. Really, really cool stuff.
Love the spread out approach there from Turks, and this time it's going to be UAIM bringing things a little bit more spread out. We're going towards this tertiary bomb site now. As you will all know, that means you're going to have that extension on towards the vertical. You're going to have that one plane above there. The mirror, the bandit, going to be working in total, just kind of provide that home away from home feeling for the defenders. They're going to be holding this one out as long as they can, looking to burn down the clock. Turks, it effectively gives them 2 sites to clear through.
Yeah, and it's perfect for eating into the timer, right? That's the objective. With Merrick looking around the back staircase, trying to make it awkward to walk into lobby. Just peeking for that opening kill.
Really want to find something early here, both these sides. I mean, Turner has the right read on towards this player inside a missile. It's the Bodolf coming from the back, though, to try and dislodge him out here, firing through the wall on the barricade, trying to move him, trying to get him into someone's sightline. But is he going to play ball? Is he going to play aware? Right now, Smith is cornered. He has no real way out of this one, but I think Turner's on the drone, so can't quite pick him up as he makes the move here. And instead, it's Fiza to go down first.
You lose your Ash, makes these mirror windows a little bit more potent on the top floor for holding long angles as Vexils gets another, adds to the scoreboard with shots all going down, jumps into bathroom aggressively. Don't think they've been caught aware. The Solace has no idea.
Salim trying to pick up the pieces of this one, now waiting for Marak to fall back into a position that he would call safe, but everyone else would call a dangerous one. Spots the head, but no, misses the initial shots, trying to get aggressive on the Solace now. Finds one, there's no immediate response from behind, and while Salim's in a really difficult situation for himself, he can just continue to press this advantage on through. Spots the mirror window out, Turks have regrouped themselves. It's a 3 versus 4, not great, but not the end of the world.
Cam's going over to the attack now. Got to be careful at the end of the corridor. Sprints into the bathroom, just dodges the tracers. A second flies past as well. Nilar knows they're here now, though.
And he's got that C4 in back pocket. The big danger element inside of this one to play around. But instead, he's going to be forced away by the asphyxiating bolt there. Good use of utility to find Turner to pick. Going to spot the player. That's the bandit. Vexy holding the long angle. He's just going to fall on the way. Turks doing a really good job to gain some ground and some territory right now. And they found themselves a safety net to push forward.
You've got to remember the site's downstairs. As we lose yet another, the defense can continue to peel back if they want to, but no, Smith knows he can win these ones and keeps on going. A mirror window staring now at Turner, the last one to walk on through, try to recover the diffuser, but Bandit pops over the top, and that's Vex to make sure the round goes comfortably in the hands of the defense.
It's that double layered defense on the top floor there. The issue is you couldn't get through layer 1. You couldn't get through that top floor, let alone have a chance at the bottom one there. Unfortunate to go around for Turks, but a 1-2 quarter on layer on the attack. It's pretty good showing, I'd say, for them. Pretty par for the course.
And we hit the end of the first half. Again, another part of that last round, though, right? Yeah. The site wasn't actually where we were attacking the top floor. It was still down below. So you're looking at a minute and a 3 versus 3, and the defense is still really chilling. Because if you drop down and try and hit site, they have all the verticality re-established. They can try and retake this ground. And if you just hit site and they fall back and give you space and don't engage with you, that clock continues to eat away, and there's still an entire bomb site that you need to hit. So there's a really, really interesting dilemma for Turks to have to deal with, and UAIM just playing out perfectly in terms of patience, right? They're not overcommitting. They're not giving up too many deaths early on. Really, really lovely.
As you would expect, a rotation complete back towards the top floor. We are going to go. UAIM, though, bringing things a little bit differently this time. Got that as Army, but we're also seeing the reintroduction of this Clash back through to the roster. It's very similar to what worked out well for them before. I think Golly just wastes that time as much as you kind of can with those operators, and you get to that end round. I mean, you saw round 1, right? It ended with like 6 players still alive inside of it. UAIM did a really good job of just kind of playing cat and mouse all round long.
Interesting setup to Denari. I'm always really intrigued what people are planning out, right? Like, here we can see it covers both these windows. So you're going to get that zap if you jump in through either one. Nades can always come through to try and break it, but like with how you place them, you can't shoot them out. So always a really dangerous sort of challenge to jump in. Double reinforcing off the Mez Valk as well. So just trying to close in as much as possible and give themselves, again, that space to play. We've seen they wanted to lean on the staircase, right? Put utility, maybe barbed wire. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Vulcan canister back in that same spot again. All of this is trying to delay and slow down the approach that comes in from the Turks. Clash back in position again as well. All lovely stuff.
This attack going to be playing around that sentry again. Looking to try and dissect probably that A-bomb site, that sort of main office room there. Cut off the rotations, cut off the long angles. We'll need to gain this operational control. Clash, Ceraloid, all on their lonesome. Not really much you can do to contest that one there. Bit of a wasted potential if you ask me. So, going to fall on back, surrender the space. But Turks, they're going to surrender Salim.
Still holding aggressively from behind their shield, though. Doesn't want to give up any space on Mez.
Nope. He's quite happy to chill. He's quite happy to just kind of sit there. Now plops the shield on down, ready for some action. And now he's got the support of a teammate, Golu. This is where UAIM can start to establish a little bit of a front line and give Turks a bit of meat to chew through.
I wonder if he's trying to bait out a Gun 6 or a nade, like baiting that he's putting it down so they throw their explosive utility, you pick it up again, you keep it safe. I wonder if that's the plan, but we still got this teaser downstairs, hunting on the Deimos. Again, is this their plan to clear out the back of the desk?
It's something you said could have been really useful for them in the previous round there. That lack of vertical pressure in round number 1 was very much a big contribution to their undoing. Now we head towards round number 2. Capital lining up on Mezzanine. Turks want to make this push across now, make that statement play.
Still just looking through these verticality. This is all established by the defense, remember. So they're not going to know that anyone's looking at it unless they're paying attention. The barbed wire now breaking to try and give them that space up Mezzanine. The nade coming in from that outside of bathroom nets, an opening kill for them. And now they can flood up to try and take some control and peel back at the defense.
Worry about the HP as well for Cyrilloid there on the clash. It's very low, very vulnerable there. With still some firebolts to play behind here. One dart from the Capital. Hell, a bit more brutality from the Gon 6 could indeed be her undoing. Placing around, just looking to burn the time, just looking to burn the clock. Exothermic going to go on out. Impact trick attempted there from UAIM. Not going to be successful there by the Azami. So their plant spot is opening up. Now it's just about how can you get into that position.
40 seconds left. Capital looking to try and clear out the back of the back of desk with the asphyxiation bolts. But again, Azami's doing such a great job of just sticking in this corner, not giving up any of the space and forcing aggressive angles. Pops a Vulcan as well, so now you've got 28 seconds and you can't plant on default.
Beautiful stuff there, and it's forcing Vexy to try and retake the position. Can't get all the way across the line, so has to stop momentarily behind the deployable shield. UAIM know exactly what the game plan is right now, and as soon as they can dislodge Cyrilloid, they have themselves a good position. Throw the RAU projector wall down so the Clash can't push. Unsure if there's someone watching or someone not. Bite off in a position to try and stick the defuse on down, but with the clock working against them, the Warden has to go. The Warden has to get aggressive. He throws the C4 overhead. Where's the cover? Where's the watch? UAIM from behind the desk yet again, Golu. They salvage another round on the top floor.
He's just sprinted past, and Capital turns away for a split second, Travi. He's just turned at the wrong moment, expecting aggression coming out of weapons onto Mez, and somehow missed the ward and let him slip through his fingers. But
So
catching this replay, a flashbang goes out. No, he just misses the shot. He gets him to 1 HP. And a Nitro Shell over the top, that's all you need to do at that point in the round, right? You've cleared out this position, you finally get the Azami, and it still slips through your fingers. That's heartbreaking for the Turks. But it's UAIM who call the timeout. I think they recognized in that last round that they're not necessarily in a massively advantageous position.
No, they shouldn't have won that round, really. Realistically speaking, that Warden just slipping through the cracks there was just enough to get him over the line. But they recognise the scoreline could very easily be 2-2 right now. And on Lair, I think you will be looking to try and press that defensive half here. It is the opponent's map pick. Turks wanted to be here, and they really need to start levelling up. But equally, this timeout, it's an opportunity for them to see their coach as well.
Both teams do get to talk, so that is something. I wonder if this might benefit Turks a little more in the long run. I don't know, it's hard to say. I felt like that last round, Turks had a really good read into it, so I wonder if this is coming from a spot of like, hey, we're 3-1 up, but things have been a little bit shaky. Let's see if we can't just really put the pieces together. They're going back down to the basement, and last time I think a big part of this was the amount of verticality that was able to be established early on for Turks, paired with that quick momentum in towards Garage. So, interestingly, they banned out the black bit, right? That was their third ban at the end of round 3. What does that mean? Well, not really going to impact the top floor, but it was down here where we saw them just leading the charge, right? It was Shoxel just walking forwards, providing all that information. The opening pick came through onto the Kaid, down inside a warehouse. So if you can get that early pressure, this time it's the blitz. So no AR, but if you get close enough, you get the stun instead. And ultimately, the shield is going to do the same thing. It's going to walk forwards and force some sort of attention to be given by UAIM, whether that's to give up space and run away, or whether that's to engage into a gunfight and maybe you net yourself an early pick. More being put into this roam, however, and Smith's missing out the drone early on, Travi, is not an excellent sign.
Not the greatest to start you could want, especially on your Solace, considering that is going to be your primary role here. However, one thing this operator is going to bring is she's going to be able to catch out Snake. When he's got this scanner and radar in hand of his, she can see immediately where he is. If she activates her overdrive, she's going to get that confirmation, hey, it's the guy with the bandana. And you may want to go and hunt him down. It's a good bit of information, a nice little interaction between the two, and one certainly to keep an eye on. But Salim, he's just charging through warehouse.
Already early in, we still have a reinforcement in pocket. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be on the warehouse wall, and we just didn't get time. Either way, still Solace up above, and we've seen plenty of drones being sort of peeked in towards bunks, want to try and gather that information if possible. But so far, it's again a quick lockers control for the attack.
Speeding through to control now, charging up ahead. It's going to be Shoxall leading the brigade. Nilar spots him out, going to give the information on through. And for UAIM, I think it's that moment where you can realise, hey, there's someone at the door. We might need to make our way back down towards the stairs and go on through. But the Blitz, he just decides to send it on through. 2 quick kills coming in for Turks. They found themselves a bit of space with the vertical working against them. They're going to try and look to get a plant down.
Last time it was all built on the vertical. They flood back to sight down the staircase now, straight into the waiting arms of Badolf, who can't quite land his shots. Still blocked outside of sight, but a Nitro Cell shot at
Oh, unfortunate there. Vexy is able to find one back on towards Salim. He can get the information onto the Blitz where he's playing with the Solace, but it's not the right ping. It's not the one they're going to be looking for. However, the kills are certainly going to be helping him in this case. It's denying Turks the safety to stick this defuse on down. The Snake, he can't work through the floor. He can't work on the vertical, and he's going to be dropped. Vexy putting the whole team on his back here, carrying through this round here for UAIM, as they now have Turks on the back foot, cornered inside of the objective. Vertical presence working against them. The fire extinguisher to move the Blitz away, to shield break him, leaves Turner on his own. Last man standing. Vexy doesn't quite get the AC he was looking for. Marek to close it out, but UAIM, what a phenomenal response from them.
Incredible, right? Like, the read coming in from the Turks is they're all upstairs. They're leaving a lot more into this. We can get this lockers control. They're so vulnerable. If we jump in from archives, we need to hit site quickly. And you immediately see Badolf jump in the window downstairs, push into connector. They have Ash pushing into archives, getting that early space. It's such a quick approach coming in from them. But the problem is, UAIM, they have their Solace up above. They have the hatch, open the drop back through. And Smith just does a fantastic job of picking this attack apart piece by piece. He has the read from the scanner onto where the Blitz is planting, is able to open up the floor and start putting pressure, which stops that plant from going down. That completely flips around. That is the big moment where Smith made a tremendous difference. It's all built on not letting the diffuser get planted. If it does, the attack can start to peel away. They no longer have to play under the vertical that has been established by the defense early on, and what is continuing to be worked out with the shotgun in the pocket of the Solace. They then get to play much safer. They get to play in these safety zones. Instead, they're stuck, still challenging the same spots, and it's very little for them to do from that point onwards. Tremendous job by UM to respond to the aggression, coming downstairs quickly. They're instantly in spots to try and deny the plant.
It's almost like they had an idea it would be coming, because it is in Turks' playbook. We've seen it from them to just kind of go, hey, no one's at home. Let's just hit site. Let's just go and see what happens. Final round of the half now. A much-needed one, I feel, here for the side of the Turks. If they come out of this one 4-2, it's not the end of the world. You can write it off, go towards the defense. 5-1, it's a little bit more difficult. Tertiary bomb site will, of course, to be forced on out here. Turks need to clear this top floor, need to clear the 2 layers. Something they really struggled with last time, Golu. They didn't quite get the opening they wanted here.
No, it certainly could have gone better, right? But I still think ultimately they did a decent job of swinging on this top floor. I think, should feel pretty confident they can replicate that success. They don't have the mirror anymore, so it will be interesting to see how that impacts things, especially playing at the back by, painting and jumping in here. But so far, a little bit of early aggression, and it's Nilar just peeking out onto the window, takes down the Lion as well. So that's really going to give them a lot of freedom when it comes to the attack, pushing forwards to try and catch them off guard.
That free information you could gain, it is no more. You've got the Snake, but he's limited in terms of his radius across the map. And with this C4 looming from Vexy, while he does have to peel on away, the attention's not on Nilar, who's able to slip his way in, find himself yet another kill. Turner does respond back with another, but Nilar, you just can't shut him down. Previous round it was Vexy, now it's Nilar. Golu, these individuals on UAIM, they're standing up to the test.
Yeah, they are not slowing down in the slightest. Looking to peek still in towards the long angle, but now you're stuck in this 2 versus 4 to try and clutch it up. But you haven't really made any headway across this top floor, and every position you thought you might have cleared has now been retaken with an aggressive stance from Smith. Thankfully, you got a drone coming in, should spot out the Wamai, but I don't know how helpful that's going to be to you, as you can't push into that close range with a shotgun, especially when he's got support behind him.
and you have nothing to dislodge him out with utility-wise. Either you're just going to have to try and win your ones here, but you're going to have to do more than that. You can push across here. You've got to try and go through the breach, charge on through to the mezzanine player. Good little dissection there. Important that Shoxall wins this one inside of sight, but he's not going to be able to do so. Leaves it on to Bodolf and UAIM. They'll just finish up what they started. A great end to the half from them there. A 5-1 split. I don't think you could ask for much more than that.
No, you really couldn't. And Vex has done a great job as well, right? You look at how that needed to be played, and it's like, look, I just need to cover my Wamai. Smith's more than happy to make as much noise as possible, right? He's running around joyously. There's zero signs of him slowing down or anything changing in that regard. It's all about, they know I'm here. I have cover from Mez. I have cover from the desk behind me. They can't push my corridor without getting gunned down by either me or my teammate, and they can't push down into the rotate without me or my teammates setting up a crossfire. It's really good positioning by UAIM, and they find themselves 5-1 up here. Like, this is a little ridiculous. It's a tremendous spot, Travi.
This is what you want to be at. You want to be sitting here on this one. It's not even their map pick, Golub, is it? This Turks wanted to be here.
This is the Turks map pick, and you get to choose the start side. They choose defense. They want to be on the defensive end of things and build up that buffer before they swap onto the attack. They are now 5-1 up. Look, they still need to be able to put wins on the board on the attack. If they can't, it will all be for nothing, right? If they go to this OT, it's going to suddenly become a lot harder to try and close out a game. I believe Turks will be on defense for OT, right? Normally, team that picks the map gets to pick the OT side. So there is that advantage if you can't find wins. For the side of UAIM, it's not getting too lost in things, right? Yes, you have this 5-1 lead, but you still need to be able to put these rounds together. Let's make sure we play, pretty sensibly, pretty standard. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The game's not won just yet. And early on, you see a very different approach in the bans. Immediately, Turks get rid of two of those shields, the Blitz and the Monty. They know the impact and power that it has as a shield. I'd be very surprised if we don't see that Blackbeard banned off third. If we even get to it, Travi, to be honest, right? Because it is still 5-1. The Mirror and the Bandit taken away. They want to deny one of these wall operating tools, and also we saw the impact UAIM were able to have with this Mirror, right? That wall we've just seen Shoxall reinforce looking into weapons. You can hold a long angle completely through the site, down into the bottom. You don't want to give the defense those options. Like, why let them have that sightline for free?
It's quite a simple objective now for UAIM, really. All they need to do in this half, on paper, in theory, is win the tertiary bomb sites. Turks will have to play them at some point. All you need to do is win them, and you will win this game 7-5. UAIM, that's obviously not what they're going to be aiming for. They're going to be aiming to get this one done nice and quickly. The closer they can get onto Chalet, the quicker they can get there, better off for them. So, well, how are they going to start their attack? They're going to start off underneath, sending the Deimos on through to apply some vertical pressure. Meanwhile, the rest of the attack starts to shape things up where they might want to approach from on towards this top floor. Because, of course, you've kind of got to pick your poison with this one. There's not too many great options on it.
Penalty established for the Tachanka. Takes 0 damage in that exchange with Deimos down below. That's just how difficult it is to fight back through these iron bars, right? Like, I mean, you can look at the tight angle he's holding, how little of him is exposed when doing that. It's basically nothing, and, well, Deimos didn't respect that. And that's the first kill going over, and it's a kill they'll be very happy to see. Again, Tachanka and Smoke. The more this clock goes down, the worse things look for UAIM with how much they can deny out this breach.
It's that third dimension to the attack gone. Without that vertical pressure, without that one going underneath. We've seen it before on the top floor on this map, especially on the flip side of things, where UAIM were just able to play behind the desk because it's safe there without the pressure underneath. There's a lot of work for them now to do on the attack. Turks shaping themselves up quite good quite early on here. And while the pressure onto the Volt player applies, he's just going to stall it out, start to use those toxic babes to buy himself more time.
Well, they sent the line underneath. Looks more for a wraparound towards green, if I had to imagine. Checking there's no one playing underneath, but also wants an idea of what verticality has been established. Still all 3 scans in pocket, which means we're getting to a point in the round where the utility is going to start to fly out. You need to begin using it if you want that full coverage. Toxic Babes and the Shamikas already flying from the side of the Turks. They know that it is all about eating into this clock. And with how much they have in pocket, they can use these smokes way more aggressively if they want to hold tight on weapons.
It's that chip damage you can do with them as well. Marek on the receiving end. Quite a few bullets from the Tachanka, trying to pick up the pieces where the Deimos before him left, but the stall out from the push of Elevator there, and the aggression from Vexy. He's able to reward himself with a double into Volt. Tachanka biting off a little bit more than he could chew. Shoxall realising he maybe doesn't want to get too aggressive on this position. and decides to go deep, decides to try and retake towards elevator side. There's no one out the door right now, so theoretically you could 180 and support the teammate, but UAIM, they're going to give the calls. It's a very one-dimensional side right now. Turks are all focused on one area. A backstab from Mezzanine, a backstab from the push could go really well, but that's the fuse gone down there. Shoxel's been able to find the golden pick he really wanted. Denies any more shenanigans from Vexy. UAIM have to scramble. They have to charge forwards for this one. Fiza gives himself away in the gunfight. It's all down to Shoxel in a 1v1. He's got the fuser. He can just run, get himself out of there, and get Turks their second round.
Another round won by the defense on time alone. With the diffuser dropped, the rotation was a great call from UAIM. They needed that extra dimension with how much they were getting choked in. What a tight corridor that is to play through, even with both the Tachanka and the Smoke being dead. But it's not enough. And with the diffuser going down, with the Azami able to keep it off the weapons door as well, that's what really bought out the time. Look, Gridlock, yes, swings in, takes down the Azami, but now can't get to the other side of this doorway in time. You have to get 3 melees on that barricade. By the time it's gone, the round's all over, the time has hit 0, and that's enough for Turks to push it over the line. Look, was it pretty? Absolutely not. No. You see them in a really commanding position, right? The 5 versus 3. They've burned out this smoke utility. 40 seconds on the clock. They're eating it all away from UAIM, who currently don't have a look at the round. And then Vex pulls out a tremendous double. They think that by shooting the Shamika launcher over towards the outside door, that's going to shut down this attack. They're going to wait for that to come through before they go for the ones. No, 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 no. This Gridlock's a swinging Gridlock, bro. This one's going for glory, then gets one. And then Tachanka, thinking there was time to drop a Shamika on the door to cover the fallback, just gets beamed down instead. A really nice job by, well, Vex specifically, at just sort of anticipating what the purpose and intention behind the defense is, and just getting that perfect little window of opportunity to pounce. The Turks, they've now gone down to the basement instead, not wanting to, well, they can't, they won, they can't go upstairs, not wanting to go for a middle floor just yet. I think this makes sense.
It does indeed in my book. So you can continue to play much of the similar story that worked out well for you on the top floor. Play that clock, play that time on down. We're not seeing the smoke, we're not seeing the Goyo this time. It's all about the utility that you can provide. Those Banshees, those Surya Gates, they're going to eat up attacking time, attacking utility, adding problems, adding complexity to this defense for them to try and peel away. And then you've got that light presence around the first floor. Bodov's playing out towards yellow stair side. A great position because he can easily dip away, especially when he starts to get pressured by this Blackbeard. He's going to hear it. He's out of there.
Already peeling away to yellow stairs, and again, it's just a little bit of drone and information denial, and then peel away. They've already killed 5 drones. We are not even a minute into this round. That's a 6th one falling, so UAIM just shoving these drones forwards ahead of themselves, but as they get shot and peeled away, you start to lose ways in which you can crack what's going on in sight for the Turks. It's going to make this late round execute very dangerous. Now they're only down to 3, and they're still teaser on the middle floor, looking for a gunfight, can't quite get Vex, peels away instead.
Really important pick there to try and find Fiza. More importantly, you've denied him. He's made his presence known. Does he choose to stand his ground in armory, or does he just choose to try and run away? Half the round left to play for. It seems like he's going to stand his ground. Meanwhile, Marek finds an opening in towards one down below, on towards Salim on site. UAIM gaining some ground right now, pushing on through, but they need to deal with this Roma, and as long as Fiza's still standing, they can't 100% commit to anything on site.
Clearing through as Zima setting up these Keybers, but not backing away.
Really don't want to give him this space right now. They really want to deal with him. They know how important it is, but the grenades aren't quite enough. The death mark in from behind. I think Fiza knows his days are numbered, his opportunities are limited, but because they've not cleared the filter stairs, the Zamos can't quite push up to get effect from that filter wall behind. So the Blackbeard's going to be the one charge to do all of this. Smith's really leading the pack right now. Will eventually be claimed by Vexy. Nilo with another. Turks are crumbling to pieces.
Yeah, there's so much time being eaten up, but if they keep losing bodies, what's it all for? 45 seconds, plenty now for the attack to continue to go. All the boogies used, there's verticality established, still 2 scans in the pocket for Deimos, and with one of the live players being a clash, it's going to force them to get active with that pistol if they don't want to go down.
Turner faced up with the full brunt of the team effectively on the bottom of this field of stairs. He's not going to be able to claim a single one of them. Smith lines up the second. UAIM with a flawless round. Big issue there, Golu, is that's a lifeline for Turks gone inside of this half. We said it could be the tertiaries that they'd have to worry about. Well, how about the secondary one there? 6-2 the scoreline sits. They cannot drop anything else this game.
And it's one of the strange twists of Siege sometimes, right? Yes, you think that because they're the primary bomb sites, you know, your primary, your secondary, the defense are always going to have a good sniff at them. However, sometimes it doesn't quite work that way. Teams don't know how to attack the tertiary because they haven't got the reps on it, and sometimes that suddenly becomes a really strong point of holding out for a defensive team. On the flip side, you practice and you drill so much for how do you break these near impossible sites to attack onto. And look, Lair Basement, it isn't nearly as strong as impossible to attack onto. It's very achievable for a well-coordinated attack, and you saw it there from UAIM. They've come in with a brilliant plan to try and just sweep through this middle floor, and I was a little skeptical. I was a little worried with how many drones with just throwing at our opponents early on. But guess what? It cleared out that middle floor, and Turks, with how quickly they're being pushed back, particularly by this Blackbeard, they felt this need to put bodies forward, to start trying to take gunfights. They're getting caught out, they're losing man. And like, at a certain point, you have to respect and just give up the space. It's so hard to do on this basement because once that ram starts ripping open the floor, it's impossible to play inside a site. It's a real hard dilemma to figure out.
Feel so constricted inside of this one on that basement. Luckily, we're not going there. Turks deciding to just go for this tertiary, and they're banking on, like what you said, Golu. UAIM aren't too well rehearsing it, because you win this one, then you've got the top floor unlocked again, and then you can start to worry about that situation there. You're in this 2-6 situation. It's one round at a time. Bit by bit is going to be the name of the game for the defense right now. They're going to just try and stall them out with traps. Well, UAIM, they're focusing a lot on their execute in this lineup.
So much utility for it, right? And it's because of the importance of verticality on this site. We saw it before. UAIM put everyone up above, and the Turks had to try and clear them out. This time around, you have this option to hit site. Instead, if you lean into the Capitao and you lean into the Sens with those ROUs, you can roll them through, and the idea is there is a particular corner inside of bunks where there's a tiny little sort of cabin you can hide in. It's a carved out bunker. And if you can get into that bed slot, you can plant without being seen from verticality above. You still got to be careful of things like nitro cells, but you can use the ROIs to get through safe away from the Warden's gaze.
Halfway through the round now, UA making good progress through the map here. Already on side of the site wall here, opening up the possibility of a straight hopping with the gridlock. It is going to be answered back by some pressure from above. That's the key factor right now for UM. They're not really, in my eyes, doing a whole lot to deal with it, quite interestingly. They're just focused on the site itself, eyes on the prize, but they've got to be careful not to tunnel here.
You can see the importance of this verticality, right? They're not even reinforcing site walls because they know that once you get in, well, we're just going to kill you from above. It doesn't matter. You still have to come up and deal with us. Still, all of this attack, basically downstairs, one creeping up above to try and provide a little bit of pressure. I think that Smith's trying to get the firebolts in place to make it impossible to sit on the common above angles.
Issue is as well, you've got that Warden on the defense, so you can throw in all this smoke, throw in all this utility, and while they're not going to push in and try and plant off the back of it yet, if you decide to do so, he's going to be able to see clean through it. Salim has a lot of value in his hands right now. On towards that operator. Charge on through the objective. Straight into the line of sight. Gun gets one. Trap finds the other. Bodolf with a second. How about the third on the shotgun? Smith goes down, and UAIM, their shock and awe attempt, it just doesn't quite work out for them. Marek and Neela all left standing. 40 seconds on the clock.
It was a nice try to try and be aggressive and try and be quick into sight, but caught off guard by the Thorn and just all the angles above, still doing exactly what they're supposed to. Now peeking up, trying to get a sniff of the defensive lineup, but again, they're holding these angles patiently, and it's impossible to find.
There's no way through for this one. You can try and crawl your way in, maybe try and find your way out of this one with a freebie, but like you say, Golu, when you're pushing on those angles from down above, there's so little you give away. Pivot from UAIM to try and go to the top floor, but Turner just says, no thank you, go away. Shuts them down, nice quick double kill, and they found some success on the tertiary. Top floor very likely up next for them.
I think that makes sense, right? You run it back. Up above, we get another ban phase, which will be interesting to see what both teams can kind of cook up. For UAIM, it's cutting out something that you found invaluable to the Turks' defense. Maybe something like the Warden gets taken away if you want to lean a little bit more into things like the smoke, right? They've used the Capitao a decent bit. I don't think that's really a sensible ban coming through, but we'll see what they fancy. The Clash makes sense coming in, actually, you know, something that does get in your way. We saw it on the basement. Didn't really seem to matter. The Turks taking away the Deimos, I think, is a great shout. We've seen the damage it's been able to do on these roams, where you just scan someone out, hunt them off. You think back to Teaser, stuck inside of weapons, or armory.
Yeah.
I think it's armory.
Armory.
when he's being pushed out by the Blackbeard, right, and he's scanned by the Deimos, so he knows he can't run to the rotate because that's why Deimos is waiting for him. But there's also a Blackbeard and a Nomad pushing you from the front, kind of stuck, kind of doomed position to be in. So getting rid of tools like this will help them play off-site a little bit more confidently. And also for this top floor, now that they're returning to it, let them sit in sort of key positions on that soft floor without so much concern. You can immediately see Nilar, though, grabbing that buck as a replacement tool. Yes, you don't get the scan, but you're much more efficient at ripping open the floor and then just taking a look. Is a little more dangerous, but is almost more effective if it pays off, if you don't get caught out.
And it opens up quite a wide variety of ground as we get a little bit of drone FPV racing here on the free cam, courtesy of Nanos. Wonderful observer for this evening, giving us all of the action from this game. Now we head into round number 10. As you say, top floor defense will be the hold. UAIM, a fairly standard lineup for what we would expect to see from them inside of this one. It's all going to start with that pressure down below, and of course in towards operations, as it always does on Lair. No deviation.
No deviation. Very, very standard stuff. Interesting to see the Tachanka get dropped this time.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's in part due to them feeling like the time wasn't the issue per se, or at least in terms of the denial.
Yeah.
We didn't see a big attempt from UAIM to like go for a standard breach, right? They were much more looking for control across the map, and then looking for gunfights and trying to take out some kills. So you fancy the Tachanka maybe not the perfect tool for that. You could bring something like a Kaid instead, which makes it difficult to open up this main breach, especially considering I don't think it was really read into. There's no EMPs, so those claws are going to be very difficult for the attack to clear out.
Frag grenade pushing Salim back in towards side of Volt. C4 goes up overhead. Does a lot of damage onto Smiths, but not quite enough to confirm the final blow. Good contention out towards operational sides. They're just making their presence known on mezzanine right now. Turks, they're just wasting time, like you say, Golu. They're just slowly chipping away at this attack and not giving them any opportunities to strike hard.
Looking through vertical as well, knowing that there's this Nilar running around below, but not below for much longer. Finds the first onto Teaser. A second looking to try and re-pick the kill, but pings coming through means more of this floor gets ripped open and Smoke forced a couple steps back.
He's forced into a corner right now, and that's exactly where UAIM are going to want him. If he tries to push forwards, tries to escape, Nilar's down below to try and pick up the pieces, and if he mistakes a misstep on the top floor, Vexy's there to confirm the kill. Good bit of teamwork there from UAIM, and just isolating these players on the side of Turks right now. It's worked wonders for them, established them a 3 versus 5 advantage.
And now you're looking at what can you do here as the attack. That main breach still closed off, but Buck doing a lot of work to limit movement inside of site. That's what got that smoke cut off. Shoxall still holding aggressively with this warden, knowing they can't give up too much more space. That main breach, it will stay locked. Don't worry, Badolf. That's not where they're going. It's all coming in towards operational. Can they get painting control as well? I say that as Soloy is looking at the breach, but isn't going to find anything.
Nope, it's just got to concentrate the attack from elsewhere, I have a feeling, for this one from UAIM. Grimsteiner to come on through, ROU's in hand. A hop out here from Turner is trying to pick up the pieces, but he's just too far away, and you've given away the game. Giving him the opportunity to try and get aggressive, try and take some ground. Shoxall taking a lot of damage, able to get behind the front line there, finds Cyrilloid, shuts him down, prone on the floor with a shotgun, finds his second, but with the ROU projectors swayed into the side, his safety net is falling away. UAIM forced to scramble, they're able to find one, but they're just going to play rat spots, they're just going to play the corners, they're just going to play the time. Nilar's left standing, unable to get anything going. Turks, despite the man disadvantage they found themselves in, steady.
And Travi, it's all on the Warden. The ROU's cutting him off from the rest of his team. He is the last man on his post, and he does not give it up. He holds close with a shotgun, gets the first on the Thermite, who just didn't realize he was there. They thought the cover from Grim outside was enough, but they never checked the left side of sight, and slipping through that pocket of vision, getting in tight. You get the first kill and swaps immediately to that shotgun. The arms of the Sens poking aggressively through the scanner, leaves it all open, leaves it all bare. Perfect job from the Turks, and really a perfect job from Shoxall in particular.
It's the volatility of those sense walls, right? You're standing right next to them. You have that light, even if your head on your character model isn't in it, you have that light effect while you're like a meter within the radius of the wall itself where you can't see properly because of that green effect on your screen. So it can, in those kind of situations, work against the attacking team as they're trying to push on through, trying to push on around it. Really good stuff there from Turks. Now we go towards the basement. This is where we're back on rocky territory now, Golu. They've played their successful sites. They need to win this one again before one of their sites unlocked. But the issue is they've not been able to get this over the line before.
I mean, I want to say do or die, but it's been that for the last couple rounds as well, right? So eventually you start not even noticing it. I mean, we've seen in quals as well, like we've already seen Team Secret Academy be 6-2 down and pull it back into OT and win out 8-6, right? They won 6 in a row to do it. Certainly achievable. And the team with the sort of calmness and clutch capacity of people like Turks, very easy to see that happen. Marek bringing out the solid snake for the first time for UAIM. Again, on this basement floor, it's a very good tool for clearing a lot of space very quickly.
Supported with a Blackbeard as well. He's charging on through. You can see it there, Golu, light as day. He's just going through. Turks not really wanting to contest this first floor all too much. Playing safety, playing comfortable within their site. The issue is going to be, that's that clock factor. You've got full control of this first and second floor. You're 60 seconds in. You've now got an eternity to work with on converting this round through.
What's the next step coming through? Very little of the defense. In fact, everyone is set down the stairs. They've extended further out into warehouse, but Nila, again, using this verticality, finds the first down inside of labs. You lose the pick underneath the hatch, will make the drop safer come later in the round. Still peeking down as a Nitro Cell flies out, but that's not going to land. It's good to see Marek using this gadget actively to try and spot out any scans. It looks like there is going to be a retake approach coming in, but they're going to pop out that fire, trying to buy a little bit of time, make it harder to walk up, but he's still going for it anyway.
They've read into it perfectly there. Smith's taking a little bit of damage on foot. Will say, hey, there's someone going from that position. And as you see, Shoxall's just going to decide to go away, peel on back. He realises that one's a losing battle. You don't want to be leaving your team in a 3 versus 5. So we've got a minute 20 left on the clock here. UAIM just continuing to work on through. Unlikely before they commit down to site, trying to find another freebie.
More verticality, looking for this hatch, is catered off, but you can double Selmaret, peeking down with the pistol this time just to keep this pressure going on. But a second tries to lend the assistance of the swing, but it's not enough to find a kill. Still 4 members alive for the defense. They are hunkering down. They are not giving any space over to the attack, and eventually they'll have to start pushing in through warehouse if they want that close on approach. But instead it's the backside, trying to clear out this connector. Doesn't quite get there with the nade.
All 3 C4s have been burnt on the side of Turks on their defense. They're going to be forced into a difficult position. The Warden gets aggressive. Read into by Smith. Shoxall goes down. He's sprinting on through. Boldov's on the floor as well. Leaves it up to Turner and Salim. Make it just Salim, the 1v1 champion. We'll put him in a 1v5. Let's see what he can do. Nothing, as UAIM will come through on their opponent's map pick. 7-4 finish. This basement site, just a bad omen for Turks, as they will fall short of the comeback.
So close, right? They're doing a great job to push themselves forward, but eventually you get to that attack back down in the basement. So much control conceded early to the attack. And I think that can't be the correct way to be doing this, Travi, right? You're looking at how much space and how much time is saved by the defense, by the attack as we connect this replay, right? We're back down to there's 30 seconds at the end here, but in a 2 versus 5, effectively, with all of the top floor opened up, with everything achieved, with players on 3 different approaches down to this basement, with hatch opened on up as well. Like, UAIM had everything going for them. And it's, again, because they can very calmly walk into the building, start applying vertical. That opening pick came in like a minute. That's one of your on-site players down. The idea of having no verticals, yet you lean a little bit more into like things like lockers and warehouse, and you build that up a bit.
Yeah.
There's zero approach there. They're not going for that. They're just looking at verticality, and it's really unfortunate for the Turks. I think if that gets run into, you're suddenly in a really favored position, but you made that bet and you bet wrong. It's also the least flexible way to adjust, right? If the attacks start approaching warehouse, they can just go up above instead, look for a swap. If you see the attack and not pushing warehouse, you can't move all your utility. It's deployed.
No way. Unfortunate there for Turks, just yet again just struggling a little bit on that bottom floor. Now, of course, as the veto will not load itself. Thanks, graphics. Love you. We are going to be heading to Chalet next. That is the pick of UAIM, Golu. That is where they, in theory, on paper, would be most comfortable for themselves. Where they're going to look to try and bag themselves some round, get themselves some games, and we can hope for them, if you're a fan of them, of course, that they want to get this one 2-0. As for Turks, a comeback, you've got to mount it on your opponent's map pick. Are they going to be able to do so? Well, we'll find out right after this short break.
Welcome back to the Challenger Stories, folks. We are here with another episode today with the Last Fire. Last Fire. To folks at home that might not know you, please
Hey
introduce
there.
yourself.
I am Lasfire. I work for Chiefs, an Australian esport club. I'm their social media manager guy.
Social media guy, so
Yeah.
making memes,
Yeah.
various shenanigans, causing, stirring the pot a little bit online.
Yeah, trying to be a little annoying, but like the good annoying.
There's a good amount
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Oast finds that amount. Oast is quite good at finding
Yeah,
that.
trying to
like,
match
as a region.
the Australian vibe, which basically means being a. Can I swear?
We'll bleep out.
I shit cunt.
Okay, none of that. Make the cut. That's fine. That's fine. So, how did you get into Siege first? Before all
Yeah.
of this social media stuff, how'd you get in the game?
Well, I moved to Australia on a complete whim to study after, my studies in America being kind of weird. So I decided, you know what, let's just go to Australia. I don't know anybody. Let's just go to Australia. I ended up going there, and I was like, you know what, I need some friends. I need to figure something out. Like, I just need people to talk to.
Yeah.
Joined their esport club, and they asked me, what do you play? And I said Rainbow Six, and they're like, oh, good, we have like 5 teams in Rainbow
Yeah.
Six. You could join the shit one,
Yeah,
right?
Lovely, yeah.
We did excellent as the garbage
Yeah,
team.
as the garbage team.
Everybody was like, oh, damn. They bumped us to second,
Okay, yeah, nice.
like out of the 5 teams, and then did well there. We're the only team to ever have another uni above us,
Okay, yeah.
if that makes sense. Right. Like the only uni with 2 teams in the playoffs
Two
is
teams,
how
so
is
you
how
got- you
yeah.
had multiple teams
Yeah.
going there. So you did well for yourself.
That's the only that's never happened in the Aussie League. The Aussie
Uni.
Uni League.
And then got transitioning from that player role. Where
Yeah.
do you land then today, social media management?
So a German dude by the name of Dispa.
Okay, this
He contacted me and said, hey, do you want to work for Wildcard?
Yeah, okay.
Because I cannot stand being up when not the Americans, when the Aussies are up. So can you talk to the Australian team when I'm sleeping?
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, why not? I can do that. And yeah,
Yeah.
it just moved on from there.
Has moved on from there, and now with Chiefs, I'm presuming looking into APL next year, all the big leagues, big
Yeah.
stuff. What's the next thing? I can probably guess your answer for this one. In the esports roadmap, all that. What's the one thing that's really exciting you out of that all?
I mean, Japan.
Japan.
Asia
Easy
finally,
answer.
APAC
But-
finally has something.
They have a major.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there, I'm guessing.
I am going to be there.
You're going to be
Yeah.
there. And Chiefs are going to be there?
I better be.
Better
I'd love to work it. I'd love to be there, yapping, being on that side of the camera, doing all that stuff.
One final question. The most special thing about all of this, the work you do,
Yeah.
what's number one on that list for you?
I mean, it has to be just meeting people. It has to be talking to people that I'm like, you've always been a name and barely ever a face.
Yeah.
And then having somebody being like, hey, Lasfire, I know you. You're like, I'm this guy. And I'm like, that feeling of, a friend being real is,
It's weird,
Yeah.
isn't it? We're playing with people from all across the world and all together here in one building, celebrate our love for this game. And,
yeah.
well, hopefully, we'll be seeing you again at the majors next year, at the Invitational.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me on such short notice as well. Appreciate it. And Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Two, one. Well, Deliveroo arrived right on time, Mr. Golu. Beautiful food has arrived, and with it as well, UAIM delivering us a pretty quick first map. 7-4 was the scoreline. Turks, they tried to mount the comeback, but just unfortunately a little bit short there, and a lot of that came through to that final round on the basement.
Yeah, good attack coming in at the end, right? Just a lot of space given and used almost perfectly. Catch a replay of our final moments. An aggressive swing from Warden. Didn't quite realize how close the Blackbeard was on the corner, I think, was unfortunately the deal there. But either way, closed out in good form. Flawless round as well. It's always I feel like final rounds tend to be more flawless.
They do. It's kind of like... It feels like vibes. It's like a nail. You're like laying there in the coffin, and then they just go boom and hammer the final bit in. It's a really, really good one. But now we're going to be looking at our eyes on towards map number 2 of the series. We're going to Chalet. Now, it's a little bit of a change in play style, a bit of a change in pace for this one. But it's UAIM's map pick, Golu, and they're already 1-0 up in this series.
1-0 up. Coming on to their map pick of Chalet. You have to say this favours them. If UAIM can close out the series in a 2-0 fashion, it would be a tremendous second day of Swiss for them. A big win over the Turks, a team who are kind of seen as a permanent dark horse, I think, right? They never quite have the consistency to really be seen as one of the top tier 2 teams.
But they're always there.
But they're never far off.
Team Liquid vibes, just giving remember Team Liquid back in the day, just get or like BDS and Falcons have been always getting there. They're always close. They're always in the discussion.
But like
never quite
those
enough.
teams are like always in the finals, right?
True. Turks
like a liquid of recent years is maybe a fair comparison. That could be a fair comparison, perhaps.
I don't know. We sit in this one. It's a bit of a weird one. Turks, they've probably got one of the most... Like, if you took all of the tournaments throughout the T2 circuit last year, they've probably got some of the most games played. They're competing in every tournament. They're playing in seasonal series. One tournament a lot of these teams write off. They're playing in there. Everything they can get their mitts on. They've been playing. They've been grinding. And they are better for it. But I think, Golu, like you said, the crux of the problem is the consistency. Sometimes they play really great. Everyone's been singing their praises throughout the open quals. But... And a close game yesterday at Secret Academy, right? 2-1. But here, we're yet to see that magic.
I also think it's really funny to me that Turks is technically Turks LFO. It's just become such an iconic name for them.
Turks is
that you kind of forget it isn't like a placeholder in case of the ability to do that.
Remember when at SI they got the Turks LFO jerseys made? They actually, and then Salim's out on stage with that like red jersey that's like custom made for them. I love that. They're just embracing the Turks identity now. They've got the logo, they've got the branding. UAIM, I mean, they've got their own branding. It's better than some teams have. They've got an actual logo there. It's I don't know if you know it, but it's Kyle. His name is. It's from Despicable Me. That little dog thing, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, yes.
His name is Kyle.
Interesting. That's a lore drop I wasn't aware of.
What semblance that has to the team, I honestly don't know. Either way, blitz straight on into Trophy, gaining some ground for himself. Now, Turks not really looking to contest it, just happy to give the space away.
Already into Trophies, good start for them as they can try and peel closer towards the site, but still verticality established and with very little pressure coming in so far towards Solo. Now we're seeing Repel upside down behind just to try and take a little peek. Smoke's being thrown out though to try and counter the above pressure, and you have Marek who can jump in very quickly to West Main if he wants to.
There's a lot of space he can find for himself there, but it's the Aruni of Salim. Cuts down Neela on the long angle there. Those DMRs coming to work, doing their little bit. Space has been found now, but it's being pressured on there by the side of UAIM. As Salim just is able to find another. As soon as they misstep, as soon as this attack puts their foot in a position they're not supposed to be in, as a defender there, waiting for the response.
And what do you do now? You've lost all your pressure downstairs. You still have this blitz hanging around, but he can't move anywhere. You need him to be freed up from these angles looking down, which means all your players need to go above, which means no one can help him down below. And he's kind of stuck in another awkward spot. A little bit of pressure now in towards Master Bedroom. A nade could be the deal to try and force them off this verticality to give you space to run up through West Main.
Could be the difference maker inside of this one. Right now, Turks holding this vertical is a big reason for their success. The player on the rappel outside of Solarium wants to make the hop on him, but can't quite commit to anything, so it leaves the Blitz in kind of a tricky spot. He oversteps his boundary. He knows he's going to be sent back to the Shadow Realm, so he needs to wait for his team, or just take matters into his own hands with a second. Smith, my goodness. This man does not miss. 40 seconds in, UAIM have found themselves space to plant.
And now you have the cover from Big Window to try and deny the Warden coming through. The Warden's dead already, actually, so it's nothing to stop the plant. Nomad still up on this outside window, and yes, they can look down through vertical, but if you peel away, it's very hard to defuse.
Such a difficult spot now that this defense will find themselves in, having to try and deny this one. And as you say, the shield can just wait away. The Nomad to cover the air jab on the throw. Vertical's being pressured up here by Cyrilloid on the rappel. It's a perfect play here from UAIM. You've got to give all the credit to Smith for making this one happen. And 10 seconds left to hold the line now. Vexy knows there's one cornered. He knows where Bodolf is exactly tucked away on the corner of this doorway. Pre-fires him in, sends it through, and well, sure, was a bit of ground being gained on the defuse. The team count has fallen. Vexy with a double, Smith with his third. UAIM come out the gate swinging. I think Shoxel realises just how humorous that kind of round.
I mean, you're in this situation, right? 3 versus 5. Where you have all of the verticality. This Blitz is stuck inside a connector with nowhere to go, no rotate in through connection to the kitchen, which is kind of standard, but they put it in there because they know that they're basically leaving a Rooney there as the last hold of the fence. And the entire plan is that we're going to contest above, we're going to hold this verticality. Very similar to what we saw over on Layer, right? Where you're looking at the Bunk's Armory hold. It's all about up above. You want to choke out and eat out as much time as possible. And you make the site very difficult to play in if you hit it quickly because of all the verticality and the hold up above. And that's exactly what we see. 2 quick kills coming through because they can't get the space to walk forwards through every angle you've established already. But then Blitz just wins 2 quick pistol kills, and suddenly the plant can go down for free, and there's nothing you can really do to stop it. The entire round gets flipped because, effectively, Smith goes crazy.
That's my favourite part about a game like Siege. You can be strategically perfect, but then one guy with a gun and a dream just goes, nah bro, I'm good. Yep. Kills 2 people, suddenly what was a very favourable round turns completely top side up. UAIM, and it's a good one to have, I think, for them as well, because Turks, I think, it's a similar story to what the whole of Lair was. They should have won it. They should have been more competitive inside of there. A lot of rounds that maybe should have been won that didn't. And it's continuing on to Chalet, at least for the start. Attack now, got to focus on clearing out this roam, got to focus on pushing people back. A lot of pressure out towards Trophy side early on as well.
Early air jab, catching the run out. I think once they hear you're off rappel, right, get out, get it used up. Nomad either has to come back, set another charge, we can see there's none left, or that option is now open for the rest of the round. Get rid of it while it's safe. Really, really nice to see from the side of the Turks, recognizing that window they have. Deny the control to the attack, and now reinforcing teaser downstairs. Again, they know this the Blackbeard this time is going to be aggressive. It's going to try and buy space. Let's not let him get it for free.
Warden in a really precarious position, forced to push in, but he goes for the charge instead of the melee. A dance, a turnaround, Shoxel from out the window. Nilar's found it. Vexy's also picked up that one as well on towards Bodolf, and it put Turks yet again in a struggle position here, Golu. 3v5, Fiza to hold the line in kitchen. There is a second one down beneath, but I'm left scratching my head a little bit because it means site's very vacant.
I'm sitting in these situations where a shield is walking forwards and probably should die and somehow doesn't. Teaser finally doing the job that should have been done a little while ago, but under so much pressure from the non-stop bullets coming in from the AK of the Nomad, the Vector finally nets a kill back. Ping's coming into the last player, the Y stuck in Solarium.
Turd has been marked. He's been marked for death, more like. UAIM could just charge on through. They've got 4 people up against the lonesome one. They spot him out, know exactly where he is. First one to take the gun for is Cyrilloid, and he's going to be the one to win it on out there. UAIM just an immense amount of pressure, an immense amount of speed. Job's done. Simple.
But Travi, we're looking at another round where a shield has walked in been in a terrible situation. There's 2 players, one in West Main, one in Kitchen, and then Warden drops down from Solarium as well. That's 3 of them looking, but no one backs up the Warden. The charge is missed and somehow gets his shield reorganized back in time to absorb all the damage that's about to come in. They get the kill onto the Warden and the round just spirals from there. With all the pressure coming in from below, it's another round where it's sort of been determined by the opposite side to where you'd expect. They're attacking onto Kitchen, let's hold up above. We're defending up above. For some reason, we're sending 3 players below to try and kill a shield and failing.
It is a different story, right? Because when you're playing a bottom floor site, it's a lot easier to rotate downwards because you can go down a set of stairs. More importantly, you can drop down a hatch. There's only 2 operators in this game that can go up a hatch, and neither of them were present. So for Turks, they're going down towards the basement site now. Going to be, I hope, playing a little bit more reserved this time. The operator lineup would indicate that. You got the Maestro for that site, played Ugoyo to kind of burn the time. Versus on the attack, it's going to be all about sort of cracking his defense open. The Kebi as well to deal with any pesky roamers.
I will say there's like a good reason to do this, right? Like you hold below because you want to deny verticality, and so that's what you're playing for. If they bring something like a buck, it's harder to open up behind, like the master bed, for example. If you open up all these angles, you get caught from so many external windows. That's what they're trying to play around, but instead they just end up meeting straight into the roam clear coming through. Now down to the basement, like you said before, the breach already opened on up. No messing around. They're just putting Smiths on that Thatcher. They get in the claw. They're getting it open. They don't want to faff.
No faff. It's a very British expression, but it's a very clear way of exactly how they're going to want to be taking this one through. Pace down West Main stairs now for UAIM. No one over on the side of Turks. Looking to contest it there. Salim just backs one off away from the drone. Controller's been established. They can now look about getting this breach open. Should be a breeze with that Thatcher on the board.
Still plenty of Vulcan canisters that you'll have to deal with eventually. Locking yourself in is an option. If they go for this breach as well, the fire's all gone already though, so you're fine. Crosses over towards the long breach as well, and with another Thatcher EMP coming through, they've got both of these wine walls open. Aggressive holding though leads to the death of Cyraloid. As now you're looking for a flank out the main breach. No one was looking. Thatcher on the drone. Travi, it's been a travesty to Smith. They turn around for a double.
This is a disaster from Turks yet again. They have a situation where they find themselves in an advantage, a situation where they find themselves a couple men up, and then someone from UAIM just comes on in, flips things around. 1 minute 20 on the clock now, Golu. UAIM are still fighting through this one.
Tucked inside a connector, droning in to see if it's safe to walk into wine to go for this default plant, and there's very little to stop them.
There's no room here for them to try and find this plant going through. Smith yet again with his 3rd in the round. Has the space created now to try and force this defuse on down, and the cover of the teammates, it does need to be there. Nilar's got to drop towards the floor. Bodolf goes down though, leaving poor Alterna. He's on 1 HP. At this point, all you need to do is pre-fire him out, shut him down. Vexy gets it. And UAIM just yet again, unwinnable rounds turning into very profitable ones.
Smith this time stepping up massively to just find that double out of nowhere, Travi. You're peeking through. He's on his drone. The Capital falls behind him. Somehow, in all of the chaos of everything coming down, with the Thatcher dying to Kaid on the long angle from the rotation inside a site, they just didn't catch out the aggression coming through on the main breach. And yet it's fine, because Smith just turns around and takes down 2 immediately and resets everything. They have no pressure coming in from Wine Pillar. They can look to move in for the plant. They have the long boiler breach opened up, the wine breach. They can hold it from the back of garage if they want to. Everything just set up to deliver another round win to UAIM. And in every moment, there's chaos. There's confusion. This team are always on top of things. They find the most important little bit of information to latch onto, and they push that to its limit to bring these rounds back. We're looking at the 3rd situation where you think this is all done and dusted. They're going to kill the Thatcher. Everything's over. UAIM, you can't count them out.
Cannot. You really cannot. And you look at some of the players on their side. You've got Smiths, 6-1. Vexes, 6-0. There's some really big individuals having some really big games right now, and you cannot deny the impact they're having, because Turks, like we've said, Golu, they may be strategically sound in some of these rounds, but if you can't win your ones, what is the point of all of that strategy? Down towards Kitchen this time, and an extension to the top floor is familiar and is being brought back out.
I mean, it worked, right? Like, it was good. It was doing exactly what it was supposed to right until you lose 2 ones to a pistol. So this time around, it's don't let that the blitz again, sorry, sit so freely inside the trophy if they go for that initial push. This time though, it's Vexis downstairs on the buck to start the round. Again, this blitz jumping to the external window of trophy, looking to push in. I wonder if there's any verticality established above it. Nope, nothing sets up. But again, it's so hard to hold on to because you already have presence on that Solarium window. They're just going in.
They don't give a damn. They've realised right now Turks are fighting over this entire map, playing around it, and the Blitz can just do what Blitz does best, charging in towards the objective, take a lot of space very quickly. No vert, and it's poor old Salim on the side, his own, some inside of the site again. Tries to get aggressive, will fall on down. That space being created right now, and sure, while the vertical has been opened up in the meantime, the drop down from Shoxall buys Turks a bit of breathing space, buys them time. UAIM pull back a little bit to reconsider.
Not watching the hatch means they can get back to site, recover from this position, and now you're in a 4 versus 4, but you've lost your shield. Shoxall with a second to take down the West main approach. Vex looking for a way to add some potential threat, but it's all being sold out, and now the Turk verticality is established. Now they can just watch and wait.
Beautiful shot back as well from Fizz. We're on towards Cyrilloid there. Just further in the lead for Turks in this round a little bit more. A great response, aggression with aggression, fire with fire. Vex is caught an inside a trophy now, one up above him, couple in front, can't really make his way out of here. Neela, meanwhile, what feels like in Narnia on a long angle far away. No support to the teammate, he's all on his lonesome, but it's not going to stop him putting up numbers.
Careful of the aggression coming in from Solarium. We can see the pings, but look at all of these holes. Do you have to go above and try and root out some of these defenders? The diffuser dropped down by sight, so you can leave it there, knowing you get to come back to it later. It's not in an awkward spot. Grabs it from outside and jumps back into trophy instead, so maybe they do just want to go straight for site. It seems really risky to me.
Incredibly so, but sometimes pressure in these situations, it can force the best decisions on through. Vex is toying with the idea of site. They're aware of that Ella up above, and while the track stingers will buy you a second is all they will find you. Vertical pressure being applied on through by now by Turner, who still has an impact to open up a little bit more, but instead it's going to be Fiza on that Ella. Shuts down one. This round is effectively done over and dusted here. Vex is left standing one. He's on the reverse James Bond. 1 HP. Forced into a clutch in the corner of sight. Try and bait this defuse on down, but it's not really going to amount to too much there. Finds Fiza. Turks just need to not give him any more ones. Wait down this clock, and this round should be theirs. Belgian upstairs. Thinks he wants to go for something here. Razor Bloom will likely be the one to deal the finishing blow. Yes, it will be Turks. Yet again, another close round, Golu. I feel like that one could have been a bit cleaner from them, but I'm going to take it at this point. It's a round on the board. It's something they've got for themselves, and they can just continue to build from here.
I think it was a really good approach after the blitz died, right? That re-aggression, dropping the hatch and cutting them off, the attack not ready for that to happen. They're not expecting it. They think that, look, with all the verticality established, that's what they're going to lean on, right? Watch these holes. Try and find the blitz. You can stand with your shield up and be fine. No, it's a quick drop. Very aggressively retaking that space, and it resets the tempo for the attack. They now have to start from the beginning. Yes, you're in trophy, but that is it, and there's still everything watching you. They had a small pocket of time, that window where there was no one inside a bathroom looking down into West Main. They wasted it, and a good recovery from the Turks to what was an incredibly aggressive start for UAIM to try and put themselves 4-0 up. Still in a tremendous spot. 3 attacking round wins is really good for you here on Chalet, but attacking onto the top floor, things are going to have to look slightly differently. Last time it was the Blackbeard, jumping down into trophy and just being aggressive from the get-go. I wonder what the approach is going to be this time. Again, we saw Vex look for some verticality in the round prior. Maybe they try and lean back on that, but no, with none of that buck coming back. We're on a much more utility-focused lineup for things like that Capital.
As long as we don't see a full extension down towards Kitchen this time, I think the odds for the Turks significantly better than the last time this site was played. This attack, yet again, as you say, Golu, it's going to be spearheaded around that blitz, just trying to create that space, trying to really up the pressure, because I feel like that's where UAIM can find the best success for themselves. If they realise, hey, we can create some pressure, cause some chaos, Turks panic a little bit, and then you can capitalise upon that.
Trying to peek through the drone holes early on. Always like a little cheeky spot. This is the second one that Shadow's had, right? Like the classics, the trophy. Blitz jumping on in and just running immediately, looking for this clear on the vertical, but it's Marek through the head holes, able to get the first blow on the teaser.
That's exactly the pressure I was talking about there, created by Blitz. He's in. Suddenly, Fisa springs into action, thinking, hold on a minute, it's going to be a shield. But no, it's Marek to get the pick. Blitz, at this point in time, he's just a catalyst. He's just there to create some noise, divert all the attention. Oh, but you don't want that kind of attention. Shoxel with a great headshot from the vertical up above, being totally neglected. And while he is caught in a gunfight from below, will be slapped away from that position. He gets away with his life, Golu, 4v4.
We once again forgot to respect the West main verticality, and it's come back to bite them. You lose the blitz. Yes, you got the opening pick of it, but still very little. Shoxel taking a bit more damage. You now have to remember that once you start looking away, the attacker are very likely to try and take over the angle. Siren Repel still going for the attack, as again, they want to apply a little bit of pressure. The rotation from the Lion over towards Library, now that everything has been drawn back towards the site, this is an opportunity to try and take as much space as possible and hit with a little bit of a backstab. That full rotation coming through with the gridlock as well, but they've read into it. They hear the footsteps down in the basement.
Know exactly where they're going to be lurking. Spot the player inside a library. Turner in a difficult spot. He drops on down. Is he aware of the players down below? Trying to catch him and out. Vex is going to be on the brunt receiving end of that one. Taking a little bit of damage in the gunfight as he peels on away. Turks really trying to get out of this one alive here, but they might just be trying to take off more than they can chew. It's in a 1v3 position there as they try to retake Library. Sidewall paid the price for it. Now it leaves it down to Salim. 1v3 situation. Spots the barrel of the Lion, charging on forward. Gives away his position, missing the shots, and Nilar's there to close it on out. UAIM will take the round, cement their lead in this half, no matter what. 4-2 is the worst they can do. Good ones. Good show.
It's incredible, actually, Robbie, right? Just how quickly we're seeing UAIM adjust. They lose their blitz, and they know that they can try and look through this verticality, try and catch off a pick. Don't get one. Okay, everything's built up. We have that Solarium pressure still, but let's rotate. Let's start hitting the library side instead, because we've drawn everyone back to site, knowing the importance of holding verticality, but also maintaining pressure on the bathroom window, on the Solarium rappel. There's a lot to watch on one side of the map. You need all 4 of those members back. They can jump into Library very aggressively. They can contest onto Mezzanine. They can have the gridlock start rotating up Ivy stairs. But when this pressure gets met, again, it's a lovely tug of war back and forth between these two teams. Turks re-establish Mezzanine. They start putting a little bit of pressure in towards Library. They get onto Ivy. They're watching down to the basement. When you drop away, how quickly do we see Lion drop hatch? He knows he needs to fight this Wamai. Yeah. Gridlock, walk back down the stairs, wants to fight Wamai. Nomad, on the main stairs window, trying to come through, wants to find Wamai. It's all on the same page for UAIM. They are, again, not taking these chances. They pick a target and they all hunt when they smell that blood in the water.
There's a lot of blood in the water right now. A significant amount of it for the side of the Turks, especially who just haven't had the ideal start towards this game. Now's that stabilising point. We're denying that 5-1 half. It was the exact same position they found themselves in on Lair. They're going to need to recover it from here. Very early aggression from Salim, wanting to play his kind of suicide position inside a library. Just has to be careful there. Damage all the way from the K9. Repel on in. Not going to be enough to confirm the kill, but tempted run out, I believe, from Shoxel. That will be confirmed.
Claymore go boom. And unfortunately, that is an early loss. Shoxel had a pretty big impact, right? 5 kills, yeah. Considering you're 1-4 down. That one round was kind of on the back of him making that aggressive play downstairs. Salim shady, though, with the first pick back onto Smiths. Takes down a Deimos as well. Takes down a Gunner is what's probably more important. There's still this pressure mounting around Library. But with the loss of Deimos, those frag grenades to try and push out a position. It's becoming a little bit of a slowdown here from UAIM as they get kind of boxed out. I say that, but both immediately injured.
That's the down that they can really need inside of this one here. An important position being held by Nilar. What he can do is cut and he cut. Watch the cut off. If you try and drop down the hatch, if you try and escape that library position, you will be caught off by the DMR there. So it then flips to Marek, trying to find ways to flush him on out, try and find ways to get through the position. Because like you say, Golu, even with that pick on towards Bidelf, UAIM, they're kind of stalling out. Although Salim just bites off more than he can choose, goes for the same swing twice. This time, though, Marek's ready for it.
Now 4 versus 2, still looking for control of Library, but you have Mez, you have main door starting to open up. Teaser on an island here on Mez as well. Has to eventually give up some space, looking for an aggressive gunfight. Can't quite land the shots and drops away to safety back to site instead. Loses immediately in lobby.
Now it's Turner left in a 1v4, cornered inside of the objective. Cyrilloid just continues the streak of kills there. Double inside of the round for him. really nice shooting, really nice stuff. And with it alongside, UAIM get their 5th out of that half goal. That is a damning statement right now for the Turks. They're on the back foot, on their opponent's map pick, 2 picks away. And like we say, this isn't an elim game. This isn't one where you're going to be sent home. But equally, it means you're going to be playing both games tomorrow and Sunday. Everything from this point onwards is do or die. And for Turks, I don't know if that's going to be quite a good position in.
They do say pressure creates diamonds. Maybe that's just what they needed. You know, you see it in SI, the lower bracket run is a fabled thing, right? Getting that advantage. I mean, I think until this year, right? FaZe finally broke the lower bracket curse.
Who else would it bloody be? Who else would it be? FaZe.
I rate it. Gamer's gonna game, you know what I mean? But you're coming into this now, right? 5-1 at the end of the first half of layer. 5-1 again for UAIM. Our last map, they pulled it back to 7-3? 7-4? 7-4 in the end. So, look, there's definitely that life left in Turks to try and push it on. I don't know if I see it. Again, Chalet, this is UAIM's map pick. They will be ready on these defenses and immediately starting out with an interesting pick of this car from the top floor. You know, you try and close down some of these longer angles. You can put it on the external windows, try and slow down those being held from open. You think of like piano window or bathroom window, for example, right? You can get on repel by library and just shoot those out from the start of the round. And any defender walking through now has to be worried that there's someone just sort of sat outside a million miles away lurking, but instead using it to close off the solarium door makes it very hard for Turks to go quickly and go for a quick approach coming in. Closing down the master bedroom door as well, so that the big window doesn't get as much value. A lot of spread out pressure here for UAIM, and it's all about limiting these longer angles.
Very disruptive for them. It can indeed be. This Denari, a lot of value out of him, actually. I really like this long angle here from the library there. It's good, as you say, it's all about shutting down pace. It's all about limiting how much ground Turks can sort of take in one spurt. Their lineup is going to be playing around that one. You've got the Blackbeard, you've got the line. You want to go fast, you want to hit them hard, nice and home. And UAIM, as you say, they'll be spread throughout the map, just trying to do what they can to slow this one down and make it so Turks are pushing on the back foot of the clock.
Burning out the Saria Gate early on. They want to use the impact to potentially open up some of these walls. Careful of a drop down below. Opens up the castle barricades early on. Again, these angles closed down, re-established. The shield for Turner now, trying to come back in towards Trophy, I'd imagine. Again, try and push for this Solarium control, especially when you've got something like the Glaz in tow.
Loving the information from the switch drone and a little zap onto the Rooney. Is it as much damage as it used to be? No. Is it going to kill her? No. Is it fun? Is it annoying? Certainly is. 2 minutes left on the clock now. Turks are significantly slower on making their entry in towards the building here, but the E1D, the smoke's popping on through. They might just choose to full-on send this in towards the objective, but that's just the wrong play. UAIM more expected it. 2 quick kills, and as soon as they're in, they're right back out again.
When you have no pressure on any portion of the map, library still in the defender's control. The run out from below doesn't quite realize he's on the ground. Merritt gets taken down with the pistol coming through from Teaser as he was caught mid-reload with the DMR, but it's still a good enough position. Still 3 versus 4 as they walk their way up Solarium, but everything's still set up. Still this castle barricade, still the rotates looking through, and it's Cyrilloid who's able to take down Badolf. You have the Blackbeard who now has to make an entry, but he suddenly found himself alone with a run out from Neela as well.
He can get his one back on towards Cyrilloid there, but against 3 very hungry defenders from UAIM. Is there a lot you can do in this situation if you are the Blackbeard? No. Don't get me wrong. He can try. He's got 55 seconds. He's going to go for a bit of a jump on around, spotted in there, trying to position himself where he can take this gunfight against the Iruni, but they're going to know exactly where he's coming from. Now he's got to be concerned with his vertical presence. Clock's working against him, etc, etc, etc. What the point I'm trying to get across here, Golu, his odds aren't great.
It's a little rough of a spot.
A little. Just a little.
A little bit. Just a little rough. Creeping up, these feet holds make it very difficult to contest back the angles as well. Defenders holding longer lines of sight, get that traction down to your feet, especially if you start standing up. That's why he's crouch peeking into everything he can. 1 on master bedroom, 1 in bathroom, 1 on the rotate. It's impossible to walk up. And Smith has the angle down to the head, takes down the Blackbeard, and it's match point, series point already, Travi. I didn't think we'd be here so quickly. We're an hour 45 in, and already might be over.
It's also a testament to how fast his game has been. We're guaranteed one more round. So I know you weren't here yesterday, Golu. Panahone game. It was Panahone Labors. It was 7-2, 7-2. A very quick game by all metrics. 18 rounds of Siege. And while we are guaranteed at least one more than that here today, it's the timing, it's the pace of it. Significantly quicker. We're about 15 minutes ahead of where we were yesterday when the game ended. These rounds have been very quick, they've been very aggressive, and UAIM are playing such a good job, and you see it on the flip side of Turks and their attacks, they're a bit slower, and when they do try to go aggressive, like you said, there's no pressure. Why would UAIM give themselves away? Now on to Kitchen, where I struggle to see a world in where they're unable to close this out.
And again, you have so much flexibility in what they want to do. The castle making another appearance. It's becoming a bit of a mainstay here from the looks of things. Again, setting themselves up above. They have the Fenrir to try and shut down aggressive angles. Bulletproof camera dropped inside of sight. A really cheeky one, that one as well. It's very hard to break, almost impossible to break because of how you position it inside the flower bed, but the vision peeks out over the top. So you basically get a full scan of the entire site if you want to. Really nice tech. Fenrir is being put down again from the basement, watching for aggressive angles. One's on lobby door as well. It's all about denying the rush, slowing down the aggressive plays. And again, if it buys you a little bit of time when the attacks start to walk on in, that becomes invaluable hitting the late round.
Nila and his grid of lasers.
Disgusting.
It's so
it flies
good.
through the bar as well. It covers all of it.
And reason why it's so good, Golu, because it makes you self-sufficient effectively in that role. When you walk through those connectors, it buys you that second of time to react and strike them before your opponent can really do something. He's going to go on through. Bodolf makes an entry. Interestingly, no immediate response, but Nilar's focused elsewhere. He's straight onto Fiza, clams down the head. However, trade comes in right back from the sledge. Impact limited inside of this one, but you can already see the players of UAIM, they don't want to let this one slide. They're getting aggressive down from library stairs. Still looking to contest.
Going down into the basement now, recognizing the Fenrir was below. Do they catch him in the rotation? Just misses him as he heads into elbow, not going to main stairs, not being too aggressive. It's all about waiting.
Clock going down, time going through. Marek's able to get Bodolf. Beautiful shot. Shoxall sure he finds on back the other direction. But Turks in a 3v3 position. Now, it is equal, but you can't help but feel it's exactly the game plan for them. They're discoordinated, discombobulated, dare I say. How can they recover from this point?
And now you have to drone this basement. He's made his way back to main stairs. So you're spending all this time trying to hunt a ghost who slipped through your fingers, waiting very patiently. The drone's coming back out again to try and secure this information. They'll hear it as it peeks up. Maybe hear some footsteps as he shuffles away. But no, they've seen him in, and they said it's clear. Please check main stairs. Please. And check main stairs.
Oh, they have a yellow ping. Thank goodness me. There's a yellow ping on towards that player. Marek. Oh, Turner. He solidifies his nail in the grave. It turns the advantage the way of the attack now, as this defense starts to have to worry about some things.
Aggressive hold from Vixilus. Vixilus drops back with the flashbang coming through, runs all the way back to site, actually. Look, there's only 50 seconds left on the clock. They know they can try and play it slow. There's all these windows to jump into site. Make sure you're close enough. Shoxall on low HP, but a run out, that's going to take him off the table immediately.
And Shoxall firing back in the all chat. Immediately goes on through while his teammates left to pick up the pieces. 35 seconds left. UAIM, as you said, Goludev scrambled towards the objective. Turner's able to find Vexis, though, and that leaves Cyrilloid left standing to try and deny this round here for the Turks. Does have a C4 available to him, but has to be cautious of multiple angles. He's got to be watching the wrong way. Salim swings round. Turks, they'll hold on.
I wonder if the Fenrir doesn't get so aggressive. Is it easier to play it outright? He goes back down to the basement, egging for a gunfight, wants to take another one. But if you just let that clock, you just sit on main stairs, wait for them to push you instead. Look, you can eat another 20 seconds very easily. Once those pings start to come through, if you can escape, if you can hide, even if you just wait, make them walk at you. There's no reason to give them the opportunity. Turks able to win the first round from match point. Still 4 more to do. And I don't know, that one was pretty close for comfort, right? Like, I think you're looking at a situation where you're trying to break that down. It's all on these just random kills occurring on the side. It's a really good job by Turks, making sure they're all following each other through. They're playing for these trades. Not a single kill went unanswered from the side of the Turks.
Tactical timeout being called, quite a late one in my books, I think, but it's a position where you need to do so nonetheless. As you say, that round, Golu, down to a coin flip. really, that one. It could have really gone either position. Turks know if they want to bring this back, if they want to take us to overtime, it needs to get more decisive than that. It needs to get more confident. UAIM going around, continuing their rotation, on towards the bar game inside now, where a trap-heavy lineup shields us to the name. They're going to look to slow things down here. As for the side of Turks, it's just one at a time.
Wall closed up. The classic stock wall and the basement as well. Build-off already on that block. I imagine that'll be stuck once they see it's bar gaming. You know, the classic approach is you open up the wall downstairs of garage, you jump on through, you try and open up the stock single wall, maybe use a Maverick, maybe use like an ace charge. Maybe. Not going to be the case. They're swapping that ace off onto the Blackbeard instead. There is also a clash coming through, and this will be very interesting, particularly if we see a full side clear. You know, if this starts coming through from Piano and trying to get down Ivy corridor, and suddenly there's a clash staring at you from either Ivy or on Mez, that Blackbeard suddenly loses a lot of its ability to determine the pace of that attack while you deal with the taser threat. Again, when you're getting tased by the clash, your shield does get the knockback effect, which leaves you much more vulnerable, and you can't sprint. So, very dangerous to run into as a shield.
Something else I feel like gets forgotten a lot about is the suppression effect with shields. Now, obviously, if you're shooting at them, they can't sprint. I've been on the receiving end of it a few times. It makes things very, very difficult for you, and that's why you see teams sometimes just mag dumping these shields. Shield, speaking of Dope, going to make his entrance known, presence known. Out forward, Solarium made safe by Bodolf, down underneath, clearing it through. Turks, I'm liking this. The pace is a lot higher here, and they're already looking to try and challenge UAIM this early on into the round.
But again, so much of this map gets given over on a bar gaming hold because of how difficult it can be to dislodge the defense from these positions you now find them in. The clash, stand on the top of Ivy. How do you break this, right? You haven't really got the number of nades. It's not like a deployable shield where you know a certain number of ADSs and then it's free to go and then you can start to be aggressive. This shield is going to be constantly on the move. It's much harder to displace.
You need to find that kind of key to unlock this one. Push through the shield, as you say. Turks, they've got through the map very quickly, Golu, but now they've hit that hard point. How do they dislodge this defense? How do they move the mezzanine player? How do they move the clash? Questions that we're going to need to find some answers to.
Can use the Blackbeard to open up either onto Mez or down Ivy if you want to. That is also where the clash is. A couple of tracers coming through and shots into the shoulder of Teaser. We just have to take a little step away. Aggressive shots from UAIM again to try and break the confidence of Turks. A minute 20 left on the clock, Travi, and very little done. But this attack can push in so rapidly. The defense can fall in an instant if you find the right opening.
The opening has been found there by Shoxall. On towards Smith, shuts him down. That's pressure alleviated. The clash decides to forego her shield on the top floor. Turks are charging on in, but they're sent right back out. Shoxall goes down towards Neelar, knowing about the whack stab from Library Stairs. Attention is divided, attention is split. They're able to slip away there, throwing the Razor Blooms behind. UAIM get away scot-free from this one. Somehow, some way, they get the control in a 4v4.
Clash dropping down to the bottom of blue as well and can stay hidden in this spot and just catch them off guard at the end. Now wants to creep up towards blue. Pressure coming in from the library hatch as well as the window outside. Teaser with the fuser inside a library, just taking a little peek, afraid of a flank coming through. There's 30 seconds left. You don't have enough time to worry about this. There's not even anyone there. It's just the panic at this moment.
You've got the air jabs, pop it on down, run back, focus your attention on the objective. UAIM have a masterful hold right now, the full gambit, and Turks are going to have a very difficult time breaking on through. Here comes the utility, here comes the commit, but they're just not set up for it. Turner's able to find one back on towards Marek. 3 versus 3 now, no choice but to drop the hatch, and here comes the backstab they were worried about. Cyrilloid up above, been in a position to deny any plant shenanigans and attempts here from Turks as they forgone the vertical, and from above will be their undoing. UAIM will walk away with it, the upset victory against the favourite of the Turks. 2-0 fashion nonetheless, an incredibly dominant game from them.
They looked so comfortable here on Chalet. You can see why it's their map pick. They looked unstoppable the whole map. Just every attempt coming in from Turks was met with the perfect reread into. The rotations on attack, very crisp, very quick. The ability to hunt down these roamers was really, really strong.
So good.
Ultimately, our observer had 26 rank points come back. I imagine that wasn't caught off, but
it's a
clean feed. We have that.
Good old clean feed.
Oh, decreased by 26. Yo, Nanos is
decreased. Nanos, tut. We're on to
you. Cheaters, bro. Ultimately, a good, really good showing from UAIM. I think like you you look at completely thrown off by that. You look at
How did he know we were going to say that?
What's
He's
the
on
what's the word I'm looking for, Travi?
He's on 4 minutes. Sorry, I'm entirely distracted by Nanos right now. Let us do our job, Nanos.
I don't think the Turks made like massive mistakes or anything like this, right? I think they held themselves together pretty well for the most part. I think they struggled breaking, like just dealing with the non-stop of the attacks. And I think for me that was the biggest part of it, was just UAIM was so good offensively at just making more problems than the Turks could really afford to pay attention to, and just consistently finding just these small gaps, right? Having these shields just draw so much attention, quick rotations over towards library side, just to constantly keep the defense on their toes. And you saw a couple of times they just dragged one way, dragged back the other, and mid-rotation to go deal with this new threat. They get caught off by someone who's just in a position you're not expecting. Really, really unfortunate beginning, I think, but I liked it nonetheless. I think really, really strong performance from UAIM, and now you're coming into a situation where you're looking for them tomorrow. Hey, look, that's not a bad spot to be in. It's
They're
not
on
a
the
bad
radar
performance
now.
to come off of.
They find themselves on the radar, which I think is the biggest thing outside of that one. They're on the mark now. They're on our radar. We're looking to see what they can offer us against tomorrow. In terms of our other games, though, we've only had 2 other games conclude, both in the lower bracket portion of things. Actually, that Diavoli Labourse game, Diavoli come out on top. And then in addition to that, the Maestro Esca Al Ula game, Maestro Esca will come out of that one 2-0 victorious. Every other game is kind of 1-0, kind of ongoing at the moment. They're approaching the end of their second map as we're kind of speaking, Golu. So the day's making its way. It's progressing on forward, certainly. And for us, it's been a pretty quick one.
Yeah. Been a quick game. Good performance. Honestly, very enjoyable games to watch. So, look, you take that, right? It's quick, but it was fun. And yeah, so no real complaints. Very happy with the performance. UAIM stood out tremendously well. Really solid from them. And I guess we'll have to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's where tomorrow lies for us. But in the meantime, this evening, if you are craving some more Rainbow Six Siege action, always got to plug it at some point in one of these streams. Challenger Stories, we've just dropped an episode with Whippet where he shares his wisdom from casting, a bit of advice for up-and-coming players. So maybe you didn't play in these quals, maybe you're eyeing up Rumble, the next year of the T2 circuit. He has some advice for you in addition to a pretty fun story inside of that video. I'd recommend going and checking it out along with all of the other ones there inside of this one. As for me and Goludo, this evening, that is going to conclude it on through. Congratulations to UAIM on the win. Commiserations to Turks, but I guarantee you, Golu, it's only up from here for these guys. We'll find out tomorrow. Same time, different time, midday. Same place, though. You know where to find us. We'll be back tomorrow with the continuation of the Challenger Series 2026. Have a wonderful evening. Catch you later.